It begins on a dark night. Look at this. You're not gonna find another girl like her in a million years.
It's all so magical.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo.
and does the same.
Never done.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo. Do you trust me? Say to me,
Have my life.
wonderful
time in my you should salam.
father and does the same.
Say to me,
Have my life.
Wonderful
Jasmine, you should salam.
father and does the same.
I'm going to free the genie.
I ran away, and I am not going back. And I am not going back.
You should.
I ran away, and I am not going back.
Let's make some magic!
When died.
Husband, you're open.
Your father. When did you last? When died.
Husband, Jasmine.
Your father. When died.
Husband, you're open.
Your father. When did you last? When died.
Husband, Jasmine.
Your father. There's this girl.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo.
and does the same.
There's no time in my life without you.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo.
and does the same.
I ran away, and I am not going back. And I am not going back.
You should.
I ran away, and I am not going back. And I am not going back.
Oh my. It's mine. It's death.
Ja hat jetzt getocket, da Mettlicht. Ja hat jetzt getocket, da Mettlicht.
It's mine. It's death.
It's all so magical. What are you doing?
Just play along. When died.
Husband, you're open.
Your father. When did you last? When died.
Husband, Jasmine.
Your father. When died.
Husband, you're open.
Your father. When did you last? When died.
Husband, Jasmine.
Your father. Say to me,
Have my life.
Wonderful
time in my you should salam.
father and does the same.
Say to me,
Have my life.
Wonderful
time in my you should salam.
father and does the same.
Never done.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo.
and does the same.
Never done.
I've never
Fun, Darachat, that fez, someday a boo.
and does the same.
Chase wondrous place for you and me! That's all!
Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, hello, wonderful people. My name is goodness. My name messing up again. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, and welcome to Darachat. I am glad you're all here. I, of course, have on the none other than the man himself, Hanayama-san. I think I said that. I think I said that right. I'll try to not say that 5 times fast, because if I try to do that, it's going to sound like gibberish at a certain point. But anyway, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. Besides, it's fucking hot outside. Like, god damn it.
Oh no, is it so hot out there? You're starting to burn up. Oh, how I could feel so sorry for you.
I mean, here okay. So, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so I will give you a house that was built in 1902.
Okay.
Which is with a double layer solid brick wall for insulation to keep heat inside.
Right.
I put your room sun side out for the majority of the day. Now I will give you 32 degrees dry heat and no air conditioning. And now tell me how fucked you are.
Well, I did live in a house that was built in the 1920s, so it's not too far off, but it wasn't brick, so 50-50 on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
But
as soon as I take away your lovely air conditioning, now you're fucked.
Hey, I've lived without air conditioning before, so don't you start on me, mister. I've been in the days of sweat. It's just not as sweaty as you do, because I think the important part was that the humidity is what gets you guys. You guys are not used to that.
No.
If you
No.
there was a whole week here where I'm at, and the week was just pure humidity and heat. Like it would be almost 100 degrees almost every day. Now, gratefully, the humidity went away and it was just heat. But when you have heat and humidity, good luck.
Yeah,
right?
that's no bueno.
It's
no
yeah,
bueno.
it's no bueno. But there are places in the States where there's places there are no humidity, and the degrees are I'm sorry, I'm using Fahrenheit, is about 120 something degrees.
That would be like 40 something.
Probably, yeah. Well, let's get my calculator out.
I can do it real quick.
Okay.
So 100,
We'll do it 120.
yeah, 120. That would be 48.
Jeez. Yeah, it's pretty hot, and that's Death Valley right there. Death Valley is one of the hottest places in the United States, and of course you have places like Phoenix, Arizona. You know that's hot. Texas is hot as well. But when you get to Louisiana and Mississippi and all that stuff, there's that heat combined with the humidity. So good luck. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many have AC, but I do know to some degree that it's about the same where it's heat and humidity, and they do have AC. So yeah, without AC, it'd be difficult. But even then, you know, people have fans, and I don't know what fans are for you over there, but it's.
Oh, I mean, right now mine is working fine. Thank fuck. Because otherwise, this would be fucking like death. Because I just checked. So for me right now, it's 11 p.m.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's still 27 degrees, which would be 81 for you.
Woo! Yeah, that's quite hot. Now, right now, for me, since you're Germany, right? I thought you were in the UK, but I was fooled. So it's 6 hours less.
Close
than
enough.
Yeah, it's you're an hour ahead of the UK.
Yes.
But right now it's 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So that would probably be. So it said 11. It's probably gonna be
26.
26. Okay, so it's 26 Celsius where you're at. So there, you do. I mean, yes, we use different measurements, but at the end of the day, you do see the temperature wise. And again, you guys are in a different scale of how you handle yourself because you're more on the cold time. And I talked this with Tombi as well. Is like you guys are more on the cold end majority of the time, but when that heat wave comes, you guys are like ice popsicles or ices, as some would call them, and you just melt at a certain point. So for a understandable reason, a lot of Americans made fun of you because we deal with that. A big chunk of the U.S. deals with that on a daily basis, and during the summer, almost all. However, you guys, as I stated earlier, it's the humidity factor you guys haven't dealt with, and so you guys are on a more not used to this environment sort of scale, which is understandable.
Oh, definitely. And then you run into the next issue, specifically for me. Like my first dream job was to become a trained chef, and so I did take a position in that. I became a trained cook, But during like culinary school, we were in a climatized kitchen, so the kitchen had AC and everything, because you are just there to train, like obviously. And so then you have half a year in an active kitchen, and during that half a year, it was discovered specifically for me, and it's like not that rare, but over here it's fairly rare, where I am fairly resistant to innate cold, but my body cannot handle excessive amounts of heat for a long period of time because I vent very badly.
So you don't sweat as well. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So and then that comes on top of me specifically then during the summer months, and it's like, well, can summer already end? It's like, I know it's only been a week, but can I weather fucking fuck off? God damn it!
God dang it, get out of here. No,
It's
that's
like, bro, whoever invented summer, like, do you live on the sun by default? Like, what's wrong with you?
if you were on the sun, you'd be gone. Like even getting a few miles close to the sun, you'd be vaporized just by the heat alone. So don't even try to do that exaggeration. You'd be dead.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so whoever invented summer, like, can we send him up to the sun? Let's see how he likes the heat.
You can't.
Fuck outta here.
You can't invent summer. Otherwise you're doing the whole God thing, and then you're just like, well, you know what? Screw you. It's too hot. But I mean, you're probably not too far from. I'm pretty sure that Germany has beaches, doesn't it, or no?
Oh yeah, but like nowhere near in the area where I live.
Yeah, understandable. Because I you know, that because I had Smoo on, and I did the same thing too. I thought he was from the UK, but no, he's from Germany.
Yep.
Because I tried to learn German once because it's a base form before English, a Davyverse, because there's Mon and certain words that you can understand in German that would correlate to say English, obviously because it's a branch off. So so it's like the one in the post I did earlier. That was one, and then you got Ist gut, and then you got of course almost every American knows Guten Tag, but they don't really do it. They don't do it right, or they don't say it right, or it's Guten Tag or something like that. Because Americans, they kind of intercept words, French, Japanese, all this stuff. They intercept words.
I mean, let's be honest. The one German word every American knows is Scheiße.
Or Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest and Scheiße.
Scheiße. But I mean, there's more to it than that. And then, of course, I was trying to learn. Of course, there's the similarity. Again, when you sound it was like Trinke Wasser. That's drink water, or I can't remember else. But it's very it is a branch off that, and of course you have the UK as well. And sort of there's English, but there's a different form of it. You have a few extra letters here and there. Heard all German beaches are nudist. I don't know about that. That's a question for you.
Yeah, so it's not all of them, but we have them.
Okay, so it's like Spain. I know I've heard stories that Spain has nude beaches as well.
Yes,
but
it's literally a thing in like specifically in Europe. But those are specifically like when you go to one, you will know, because like even before you reach the beach area itself, there will be a sign that upcoming is a nudist beach. So if you end up on a nudist beach and you are wondering like, why the fuck is everybody naked? It's like, how the fuck did you end up there and not walk past at least one of these signs? Like, what's wrong with you?
It's like, you go, why is everyone like having their thing out? It's like there's more older gentlemen here. What's going on?
It's like why is Old Man River here? Like, what the fuck?
Well, actually, we call that a sausage fest. So, wunderbar. That's right, wunderbar. Yes, but I think that there was a movie. So okay.
So and with that word, Davey, you only need to change the O for a U, and then it's German, and then it's wunderbar.
Wunderbar, yes, because there's a movie. It was the X-Men First Class, and it's supposed to be, the beginning of Charles, but in the beginning you have, what's his name, Kevin Bacon. He plays that German guy who's the scientist. Who I can't remember what his actual name is. He's like that absorbs energy, but he had to learn German, and so he says wunderbar,
Yes.
because all that stuff. That's a different subject altogether, but that's where I've heard of that word, wunderbar, and of course, trying to learn a little here and there. But I don't know. You're throwing me off here. I don't know.
Abe,
I don't know
behave.
German. I know mine, but that's usually because there's a lot of. I know it's. The funny thing is, all right. So the spelling of mine, right? MEIN in the English form. If you just change those words around, you get mine, which is the English form. So it's basically saying the same thing.
Yes.
Yes, my or mine. But yeah, it's funny how someone's like 9, right? Except when you switch the words, 9 for you is no, but you switch the words around and you get our number 9. See how
Yes.
that? Yeah, it's it's the funny stuff with language, right there.
And then everybody, and then as soon as you hit the number 9,999, we're just sitting here 999.
Well, and of course part of it has to do with the history of things, obviously, but to learn a language in itself is you usually try to go with something that you can understand. Like this will come with asking about your username, but trying to learn Japanese is a lot more difficult than trying to learn German, because there's a similarity between English, but with Japanese, it's sort of like the whole sentencing is off. You're trying to learn, haiku while you try to speak it. It's not a good time.
Yeah, that's literally not how that works. And the funny thing in general, specifically with like Japanese, is like you can get confused so fucking fast because it's a context-heavy language.
Hey, what's up, my dude? Welcome.
J-Tabia, hail the nerd takes.
Oh, nerd, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
with Japanese is the funny thing, because it's a very context-heavy language. You have one specific sign, one kanji that reads ken, which means sword. But depending on the context of the sentence, it can mean any different type of sword. So you can write it either as just meaning sword, as in the weapon itself. You're describing, okay, the knight has a sword. But I can also write that the knight is wielding a claymore, but I still write the same kanji, meaning sword, but in different contexts, and now you read it as a claymore.
Yeah.
And it's still the same fucking sign, but now it means a specific sword and not just a sword.
Yeah. I'm a bit German school. It's weird how common some words are to English, but then there's words that miles apart, like hospital. Yeah, of course, because English is a branch of it's a Germanic. I think it's the word Germanic language. English is a Germanic language. Going the branches off of different languages and stuff. But no, it's yeah. And so that brings me to questions like your username. Where did that even come from?
Very, very simple. Because if I go to my mom's side of the family, her dad is born Japanese.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you have part Japanese in your blood, is what you're saying.
Yes, and and his name was Kenichiro Hanayama.
Oh,
and so that's literally or if you would write it down in Japanese, it would be Hanayama Kenichiro. And so that's where I adopted the family name.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the family name is usually the surname goes first, and then the the person name. But then again, usually most Japanese are not saying are usually saying the surname rather than the original name out of a form of honorific, right? There's.
It's basically like depending on how close you are with somebody. Like if you're really if you're really best buddies, you go first name basis. That's perfectly fine.
Yes.
So then if you are like on friendly basis, you will still go surname, but with a different confix. For example, the one that I have, which would be son, because that's like a more friendly acknowledgement of like we are on good terms. And then you have the honorifics.
Yes.
So for example, if you're talking to like your boss or whatever, then you would use the honorifics.
Yes, because there's many difference. There's what Davey says. He says, saying Saxon, Anglo, Norse, and Pig Latin. Thanks. Hey, I know little pig Latin. All right. Thanks they a lot. All right. But no, it's very interesting because again, in some manga, they or companies that produce manga, they do leave in some honorifics,
Yes.
because there's a level to it. There's senpai, and then there's what was it?
Yeah, which would be your upperclassman.
Upperclassmen, yes. Then you have what was it? There was a level. There's domo. No, dono.
Dono, which would be if you have like great respect for somebody.
Yes. There's a leveling of san, and then you like dono is the highest portion of that, or is it dono?
No, the highest portion would be sama, which would basically
that's right, sama.
Yeah, which would be like in the medieval period, you would address a lord, no matter how good you are with that man, because of his title, he would always be sama.
Mm-hmm.
And you would never not use the honorific title, given the respect that title holds. You would never disrespect somebody that holds that title by not using it.
Yeah, there's a level of respect there, and that's mostly just the Japanese way right there, is in how you show respect and stuff. And of course, you can watch as many hey Mike, you can watch as many people who on YouTube or whatever who do videos in Japan, and we already had that lesson last year of someone who was being very inappropriate on that matter. That was a fun time. Now he went. I think the last time I heard was that he went to Israel and he started being inappropriate there, and he got his just desserts. So we'll see.
And the funny thing is, like, he went to Japan, fucked around, and then found out. Then he went to South Korea, fucked around and found out. And now he went to Israel, fucked around and found out again. Well, how many more L's do you need, Chief? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it was the whole live streaming factor of attention stuff, sort of thing, and part of that I think is why he did it is because of that, because he got a lot of views, he got a lot of hits. I mean, when people, especially with the Japan part, when a lot of people were very upset by it, and rightly so, they were on him like flies on rice. There was stories I was hearing where they were tracking him down to where he was at, and there was one point a gang of some sort met him outside the whatever place he was staying at, and it was just like the dude could not stop tripping over himself, and I'm just like, well, it's his fault.
Literally 2 days before he left Japan, or rather before they kicked him out, he got his ass beat.
Yeah,
he got his ass beat at the airport.
Well, when you go around and you start bringing up some historical context that required a lot of harrowness and grievousness upon it, you're gonna want to knock some heads, and unfortunately that was the case with the person we're talking about. Not going to say his name because he doesn't do it, but
no need to put it.
Yeah, there's no need to muddy the water. But I mean, a lot of people are at least on the basis of manga and anime, which is the export, which is probably other than food portions, right? There are snacks like Pockies. You see that in the States being sold. A lot of what Japan exports has been mostly the cultural stuff with the anime, manga, and I think recently the light novels. Light novels has been a thing. I'm not interested in light novels because it's really just a Reader's Digest that I don't need to have any more than reading that. Manga is fine. Won't be the last. Just ruins. Yeah, exactly. And of course, you had C-19 or COVID do that. But the problem is when you have someone like that, and there's still other people within Japan that do that, they just don't get as widely shouted out as that. And of course, you saw a lot of people who live in Japan who make content in Japan. Dogen, I don't know if you've heard of him, who had spoken on it, and a few others too. They get a lot irritated because like you ruin it for us. Right, we're here. We're trying to make content, make friendly relations, whatever, and then you come over here and backhand the people themselves, because it was just like, why would you do that? Why would you? Other than for the attention factor, you are bringing on a storm it's more dangerous than a kamikaze. Why would you even? Why would you want to do that? But again,
why is very simple, because like if you look at the cranial structure of the brain, like the more wrinkles your brain has, the more thinking power you have, and then you have people that have a brain like a fucking bowling ball. It's very smooth, no wrinkles, no fucking math power in it, just fucking retarded.
Right. I was just gone with he was dropped in his head as a child, but then again,
I mean,
know.
hey, that could also happen. Like, he could have been dropped and have a very smooth brain, like a perfectly polished bowling ball. Like,
like-
¿por qué no los dos?
Oh, ¿por qué? No, it's where'd you
It's
learn
already
that?
started.
Where'd you learn that from? A novel? What is it? A novello? What is it? Whatever those dramas are. I mean, again, that's part of the American culture where you take pieces of other countries' words, and if they get well enough, like, what was it? You know, people would say, Abe. Yeah, there you go. Abe is.
Abe.
Yeah, Abe.
Very, very, like, Abe is not even bowling ball level. It's like, you know that when you get, like, you know the theory that when you get a perfect sphere, like literally the perfect sphere, that it has immense gravity. Abe is getting very close to that perfect sphere. Like, omega smooth.
They said you just put the ball down and it just rolls itself. And he's like, that's amazing. I know, that's smooth brain stuff right there. But no, Davey Verse was saying, hold on, I gotta bring up. Davey Verse was saying tech heavy, tech. Yes, they are. It's very interesting when you look at the Japanese. They've been very forward in their tech. Of course, you know, there's China, and that's a different story in itself. But no, there was silverware that was made in China. I mean, Japan. There was electric parts that are made in Japan. There's still a lot of stuff that's made in Japan. It's just the cultural stuff is, you know, food, and then of course anime, manga, and of course, you know, mythology stuff and all that. There's a lot of stuff that gets exported, and again, we come to the point where Americans take certain words from different countries, and like s'il vous plaît, right? You know, French, français, s'il vous plaît, oui, oui, hey, Miss Kata, how are you doing? And then of course you have, I know, Espanol, like ole or hola, and como está, well, not that.
¿Cómo
Maybe not that.
estás, eh?
Como estás? But you come to Japanese, right? And most people would know konnichiwa and sayonara, but those are,
Yes, sayonara and arigato.
I know, but and that arigato, but they say it wrong, right? The sound,
Yeah, obviously.
right? It's konnichiwa and sayonara, and then you
And
have
arigato.
arigato. Well, it's arigato gozaimasu. That's the respectful term. There's arigato.
That's very important. That's the respectful term. Like,
Yes.
if you just say your goodbyes in a like in a friendly setting, you don't
Yes.
need to go honorary. That would be like if you excuse yourself from, like, or if you go home, you had like something like a business dinner.
Yeah.
Or like something like that. Then you would use honoraries, because again, it's a very context-heavy language. It's who you are talking to depends what you say.
Yeah, and that's where the whole the translation stuff springs up, because of the language being very context heavy. Few words can mean multiple things, right? In America, we have the same thing too, right? In English, we have some words like idioms, right? Idioms is one thing, double meaning, you know, those type of phrasings and all that stuff. But they do have that contextual where it's not just one way, and you kind of have to look at the whole. And it's
It tends to get a bit wild sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, depending on like context and everything, just look at all the mistranslations and all the mislocalizations that have been happening over the past years, to the point where a giant publisher of light novel and manga, Shogakukan, literally canceled the entire English localization studio in California, fired everybody, and now doing the English translations by themselves via an AI tool.
Yeah.
Because it kept getting mistranslated, mislocalized. And you even had some of these localizers brag about it on Twitter, being like, yeah, I mistranslated this, what you gonna do about it? And then cry victim when they get fired. It's like, you fucking idiot, you did this to yourself. You had the easiest job ever. Take this text and translate what stands there into this language that you are fluent in. What are you doing? And then they use words that don't even exist in Japanese. Yeah. Like in one specific one, it's the main theme of the story is a romance, but it's written in a more comedic way. It has good comedic timing. And so one of the things is the guy in question is very nerdy, like very much a nerd, and so.
Oh, is this
And
not
so
a girl?
no. It's Dangers in My Heart.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I've heard of that one. Yes.
Yeah, and so she actually asks him about his hobby, and then obviously he goes like full nerd mode.
Yeah.
And because obviously she's just sitting there smiling, listening to him because he's fully in his element, like not even speaking like words that normal people would understand because geek mode.
Right.
But she doesn't care because like he finally gets to be him, which is great. And so, and then he later sits and is like, okay, did I go too far? Did I over-explain? Did I go too deep? And the over-explain portion in the English localization got translated as, oh no, I mansplained. Mansplaining is not a word that exists in Japanese.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a made-up term that's not even a thing.
And the other one too was the Sono Bisque doll, right? With Marine-chan and all that, where... what was it? I'm trying to. There was a certain part of that where it's more relation to the characters, right? Where Gojo? Was it Gojo? No, Gojo. The dude character dresses up Hina dolls, right? He does that with his grandpa and stuff, and so he geeked out on that. And of course, Marin-chan is more cosplay. And that's her sort of feel. So you have that similarity in characters and stuff. And Davey says, remember the 2010s? I had translated via, but it was Tarzan that was a fan. Yeah, the you heard the recent news about some of the sites that had the anime stuff on the piracy sites, whatever, got shut down. Especially one I used to visit. And while it's understandable, however, we come to that same occasion with the translation stuff. Now, the first one with the AI stuff, right, was for the Magus, the Magus, I think it was the Magus Bride was the first one where that story came up about the AI stuff, and a lot of localizers got into a big tussy fit of it. And of course, it was the story itself was not that extravagant, whatever. It was just them testing it out, whatever.
Yes.
But when we came to that, you got to see all these English localizers get very upset that they're using AI to translate this stuff. And then, of course, you saw the wave coming back and saying, because you guys can't do your job without throwing something into it. And a big one that came about a while ago was the one of where the character, it was more of the cross-dressing stuff. And yet the English side tried to translate that into trans when that wasn't the case. It was the, I can't remember the title. Some of these titles get long in the tooth. But you have that stuff where, why?
I mean, here's the thing. These motherfuckers even tried it in One Piece, one of the most popular anime ever made, and the single highest selling book in human existence. Because, spoiler warning, by the way, since the new One Piece manga volume just dropped in Japan, the One Piece manga has officially outsold the Bible and is now the most sold book in human existence.
Yeah, it's a little over 500 million is what
it's 524 million units sold.
It's more than Dragon Ball. That's how scary it is.
It's the single highest sold manga ever. Like to give you the numbers on this, because this is fucking hilarious. Just to drop down to the number 2, which is fucking hilarious in itself. Because some of them are just absolutely insane. Right. And so if you look at One Piece, so One Piece has again 424 million.1 units sold, and the second one, which is Golgo 13, which I believe like not many people have heard about, ironically, is only, big quotation marks, only at 300 million.
Now for that one though, that takes the cake for the longest run series though.
Yeah, since 1968.
Yes, 1968. And I believe the mangaka who did that also used to work with Osamu Tezuka, which, as we all know, is the god of manga, or the many of titles he's been given. But then you have there was another one after that. that's probably the big one so far. And again, if you look at the ones that are most widely known culture wise, like Dragon Ball stuff, they're not even on the top 5 list, I believe.
Dragon Ball is actually like if you take all of Dragon Ball, meaning you take the original Dragon Ball manga, then Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z, now Dragon Ball
Oh.
Super, you take the Dragon Ball Heroes spin-off because that's all Dragon Ball. Then
Yeah.
Dragon Ball ranks as number 4 and with
Okay.
260 million units sold.
Yeah, and that's
So, but if you break that one down to be like, okay, which one is OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and which one are like including all these spin-off mangas? If you break that one down, the individual numbers become smaller. But all of Dragon Ball has sold in the top 4 with 260 million units worldwide.
Yeah, there's
Which is still like no small number. Like that's nothing to scoff at.
No. Well, and you think about it this way, right? You know, you do have the stories of, you know, the U.S. comics right now. Again, manga is Japanese comics. That's what it is. But we just call it manga because that's what they call it, right? And they anime is just animation to them. We just call it anime because it's just showing the difference. Otherwise, we just call it Japanese animation, which I think they did at some point early on call it Japanese animation or some or Japanime or something like that. Some form of. And of course, you know, those early ones like Speed Racer was one I saw when I was young. Not back in the day, but you know, they made VHSs and stuff of Speed Racer, and that's an old Japanese anime that came to America. But you have a lot of this stuff where the versus, you know, U.S. comics versus, you know, Japanese comics, and you see that a majority. Not One Piece, it was Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was already done. And then it got to the animation and then the movies. And it started to right up there. And it bounced off, outselling even independent comics, which, you know, is starting to become a bigger thing now. But U.S.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like Demon Slayer is not even that old. Like serialization of the manga started only in 2016, and the Demon Slayer manga is already over. Like it ended in late 2020, and it's still selling new numbers and currently sits at 150 million units worldwide.
That was, and the funny thing was that when the movie came, I don't remember which one it was. The one before
the Mugen Train.
Movie Train. When Mugen Train came around, that sold a lot of tickets. And of course, this is Funimation. This was before Funimation got absorbed, so to speak, and lost their ability to be a thing anyway. But that was through a Funimation of you know, the English and dub side, and to find out that it was Dragon Ball 2. The Dragon Ball movies sold pretty well as well. I think the
Battle of Gods, then Resurrection F, and then the Broly movie.
Broly, yes, those movies sold well. They sold, you know, better than what has been previously, because you know Ghibli movies they come out every year, come back again, and of course I enjoyed those. You know, I know for a time that was sort of the Pixar Disney scenario where they did the dubbing for, and there's a lot of history there. And that part of the Ghibli movies coming to America was part of John Lasseter. John Lasseter made that happen with the dubbing and all that stuff. Because there's I don't know if it was Spirited Away or not, but there was a special video out there where Miyazaki had visited the once then Pixar Studios, and this was, of course, when John Lasseter was still in charge, and you got to see this sort of reverence that Lasseter had for Miyazaki's works. Now, of course, we all know Miyazaki is not the greatest of person because, again, his son took over doing Tales of Earthsea, and we hear the stories of how hard he is on his son and all that stuff, but that's not a too unusual thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, welcome to Asian parenting.
The type, what was it, Paper Tiger Mom or whatever that was?
It's like, what do you mean you only got a B in math?
You could do better.
Like, what the fuck is this? How is this not an A plus? Lazy bastard.
And that's where they kind of beat us on. But I mean, it's also sort of mind breaking because you kind of hear stories about the work ethics. in Japan. While there's a greatness to it, there's also a downturn to it because you see a lot of people just the stories are just not great. And of course, part of that is like the black companies, right? I can't remember what they're called, but they're called black companies where they just
Yes.
have bad hiring practice or whatever. And all this stuff. So again, Japan can portray itself in the way it puts out its culture stuff, but in the end, it's not a shining city on a hill. Japan is like any other country. It's just the language barrier is different, and a lot of what we cherish of what they make is based upon the imagination or reverence of their own country. Because I can't tell how many times you're going to see the same, sidewalk, buildings, all this stuff in an anime, and especially konbini, right? Konbini.
I mean, the funny thing is though, if you look at like specific things, like how many like American movies have you seen where the movie supposedly takes place in New York, but then you recognize nowhere where they are? And then you look at specific anime where it's like, oh, you're in Tokyo, you're like in Shibuya, you are in Kyoto, and you can take real life pictures of the locations that you saw because they're actually real, like they exist.
Yeah, and there have been many Twitter X posts where they show that this is the anime scene, this is the real scene.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's some exaggerations, but I mean that's with anything in life. It's a place of reverence, but still it's still human. But yeah, the whole cultural stuff it gets bombarded with the localization and stuff, and that's what's been a downturn for some people because they're tired of. He is right. They film movies in different locations. Oh, okay. For live action or something like that.
No, not just for live action, but for example, like if are you familiar with the Hellraiser series?
I've heard of Hellraiser, but not of the series. No.
Yeah, so it's basically the movie series because Hellraiser has like 13 movies.
Goodness.
And so the third one is supposedly in Manhattan. But they didn't film it in Manhattan, but the entire movie, they're claiming they're in Manhattan. So if you live in Manhattan, you look at the place and it's like, but where is this? Like, I know the city like my fucking back pocket, and I know none of these buildings. What do you mean? But if you live in Japan, in one of these cities where the anime takes place, you can literally walk around and be like, oh yeah, they fought over there. Like that's staircase from that scene. That's that building that got fucked up, whatever. Like, watch any Godzilla movie and then go to Tokyo. You would be surprised to see the Tokyo Tower still standing. Like, you've seen it getting destroyed fucking 38 times.
It reminds me of the scene from Austin Powers. It's like, it's Gojira! No, it's not a copyright. It's Gojira! But it might be. But no, the funny thing is majority of TV shows and movies are usually done in either California or to some degree or in Vancouver. In Canada.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Yeah, but then they tell you, oh, it's Washington. And then they have that one always used fucking stock video of the White House to be like, see, this is in Washington, we swear. And then it's like in bumfuck nowhere.
No, we just made a miniature of it.
For Independence Day and then blew it up.
Yeah, oh yeah, I believe it. Oh yeah, those real White House.
To this day, still the realest looking White House that ever got fucked up.
That is true. That is true. And also the funny thing is the Kamen Rider gets shot in live areas too. But anyway, I was going to say, so since you have talked about going into the, being connoisseur chef, and also the Japanese side, have you seen Food Wars yet?
What do you mean, have I seen it? Like, to this day, the entirety of the show, and even, like, I have even hunted down, because it has not been released in English, but obviously I at least understand proper Japanese. I even hunted down the second Food Wars film that has not been released yet, and I've even seen that one already.
Oh, I didn't know they made a film. Oh, no, they probably made omakes or something like that. No,
they literally made, like, you have Food Wars Season 1, 2, and 3. Then
Right.
you have the first movie, and then you have season 4 and 5, and then the final movie, which is the big cook-off. And that
Yeah.
one has not been released yet, but I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing, well, the funny thing was is that they actually had an actual chef help them with the recipes. Now the 5th season though was a misnomer because the chef, I believe, is a lady, a chef who had to was pregnant, so she couldn't finish out. But it's just the when you mentioned kind of, but also it reminds me of, because you can watch them on YouTube, the Iron Chef. Now I thought Iron Chef was just American or whatever, but no, it's Japanese show, but it was dubbed over, and they have so many seasons. It's just incredible. But again, that's what that's where that portion came from, is Iron Chef, where that's the cooking and all that stuff. And I was like, why can't they have something like that here? You have the US stuff. I'm like, give me a food war. Don't give me beating Bobby Flay or whatever. Give me a food war. Make it fun. Make it sound fun.
And then, of course, you have like every single cooking scene in fucking One Piece with Sanji, my man.
Was it? No, the full title is Shokugeki no Soma.
No Soma. Yeah.
Is the full title.
Shokugeki no Soma.
And the funny thing is, like, Shokugeki is a combination of words. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a battle something or whatnot. But yeah, trying to learn Japanese sentencing is just it's just off the scale, because you're like, okay, so I've got the topic, so I got wa, all right, okay, so then I got this, and then I got put the adjective describing the word here, and then I like it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm trying to, like, the best I can get is in the greeting faction, where I know it's not the proper one, but konnichiwa, Dara desu, yoroshiku onegaishimasu, that sort of thing. But there's more like they say onomae wa than the name sort of thing, because that's my name is. Rather, sometimes it's better to just do the Dara desu, or just Hana desu, or whatever it is. But it can be still quite a nuisance, because you're like, okay, so how do I say this? How does it translate? Because again, as it says, very contextual, but it's very Yoda. It's very said Yoda-like. If we were to try to say it.
And by the way, if you want to know the title, like Shokugeki no Soma, if you would literally translate it into English properly, would be Soma's War on Food.
Yeah, but again, they in English they kind of just left it out in Food Wars. But I mean, it's still closely related, but it's still Soma, because no Soma, right?
Yeah, it's Soma's War on Food.
Yes, Soma is the subject of the sentence there, because no is sort of the, I can't remember, is it the predicator or something like that, saying no Soma, and then you have Shokugeki. But again, they still got it with Food Wars. But for me, food, it's like at school, right, where they say food battle, whatever it is, food fight, that sort of thing.
Yeah, food fight.
Food Wars just sounds more epic than just saying, fighting with Bobby Flay or try to get this done, because again, it just cooking. You see in the story, it's cooking food and whatnot. It has become there's the point of being a chore rather than just being a fun creation portion. Because why not have fun with your food? Just don't cut off a finger. That's the
that would be bad, because I have seen that in my 3 years in culinary school, where not a full finger. But when you cut your nails properly, you always have that tiny bit of skin left on your fingertip, just that tiny little bit got a little bit shorter. Didn't bleed because that's just it's overlapping skin right on your fingertip, so it didn't bleed or anything. But it's like, why does your fingertip look kind of flat? What the fuck? And he just chopped it off while chopping onions.
Oh goodness, but no. But the funny thing is that the illustrations of Food Wars was done by someone who had once done R18 artwork. So, so that's where you get a lot of the etchy stuff in it.
Hey, I'm not complaining. But Dara, here's the fun.
What?
It's called fan service for a reason. It's to service the fans.
That's one portion of it. fan service does not have to be anything lewd, but it is part of the conjunction of what fan service is. Fan service can be a callback, right? A callback
Yes.
in a show can be fan service. There's a lot of different forms of fan service. But what most people know from the manga anime side is the lewd portion of it, or ecchi as they would call it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the reader demographic, like it's predominantly male, and then it's between like fucking 14, like 13, 14, and 18, 19. Between in that bracket is where most of the shonen manga readers are in the demographic. Of course you're gonna cater to them. Like they aren't dumb, they know what they're doing. And at the same time, for the women that still read, for the girls that still read.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, or have you ever thought about why literally every fucking shonen series in existence has the one obligatory shirtless scene with the male protagonist? Fan service goes both ways.
Yes.
It's not just for one.
Well, you have yaoi for that reason.
Yeah, but not just that. But it's literally like you have the one perpetual scene, specifically like the one that does it the best. Literally is Fairy Tail.
Oh, okay. Yep, I've heard of that one. Yep, that's the was he? What didn't he? The creator. I can't remember.
Hiro Mashima.
What was it?
The creator of Fairy Tail, Hiro Mashima.
Yeah, he created something else though. It wasn't Fairy Tail, but there was something else.
Yeah, he has 3 manga and anime under his belt. He has Raven Tail, then Fairy Tail, and then Eden Zero.
Eden Zero, that's right.
Wraith Master, not Wraith Tail. Wraith Master, Fairy Tail, and then Eden Zero. It's all created by Hiro Mashima.
That's insane, man. But their work ethic is insane as well. Just seeing that there was a page printout or an example of what Oda-san's work list was, and that dude is off the chain. That dude barely gets any sleep.
Yeah, but fucking Oda Ichiro literally sleeps like fucking 4 hours a day.
Yeah, and not to mention, but he went to go be part of the live version of the series.
Yeah, of the Netflix live action series. He has Oda Ichiro has creative control over the project itself and is a senior supervisor on the show to make sure they don't fuck it up.
Right, which was a point that was missed on the Cowboy Bebop, because that one screwed the pooch. But then, of course, you had stuff like the Castlevania that was I don't know how much Japanese were involved with that, but
So with the Castlevania anime on Netflix, it's like the Castlevania show is like the first 4 seasons, when it's just Castlevania, while not perfect, are perfectly fine. Like they don't do a bad job, but if you play the games, you sit there and be like, okay, that happened slightly different. Like that didn't happen at all, and that one happened a bit later, but it's like it's still perfectly serviceable. It does nothing offensively wrong or anything. And then you get to Castlevania Nocturne, which is like, who the fuck are these people? Where is the Castlevania? Where are the vampires? Why is the Belmoth a fucking bitch? And who the fuck is this crappy motherfucker?
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, like that's Castlevania Nocturne. It's like, okay, whoever greenlit and supervised this needs to be shot into the fucking sun, because this is dog shit.
Yeah.
And I don't make the rules. It is what it is.
Great. Yeah, and that's understandable. Then again, you had what was it? Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That became
fucking glorious. Is what that was.
Yeah. And
that's fucking glorious.
That was done by Studio Trigger, which has done another few other ones too.
Yep. Then you have examples where the American studios did very well with Arcane.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. But there have been a few joint efforts by the Japanese and Americans to make an animation, and one of them I know was Little Nemo. And that was a long, long time ago. If you'd never heard of it, Little Nemo is based off a 1920s comic panel. And Chris Columbus, if you don't know, director of some Harry Potter movies, was a director, I believe, of that movie. And so that was a joint effort. That's the only one I think I know of so far as one that was a joint effort by Americans and Japanese to work together to make that animation.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you got a new one, which is kind of funny because it's like it's not really a joint effort in that sense of the thing, but it's hilarious for all the wrong reasons. Because and it just finished airing. You have the Suicide Squad isekai anime, and
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've watched all 10 episodes of it. And here's the funny thing. Wit Studios was in charge, and they only had like short little cliff notes, like this is what the character is, these are the quirks of the character, and if they had pre-existing powers like Clayface, this is what their powers are. But Wit Studios had full like story control and had full liberty to go beyond like whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and made it. And now it's out. People have seen it, and it's like this is literally the best Warner Brothers themed fucking thing that's out there, and it's not even made by Warner.
Right. Well, and the thing of it, well, I mean, probably a subsect of Warner, because Warner has animation in Japan as well. But there was also that movie, right? The one where Batman got sent to ancient Japan with Joker and Harley Quinn. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, Ninja Batman.
Ninja Batman, yeah. So there was
Yes.
that one too. But yeah, there's a lot of you do kind of see that, especially with Disney Plus, right? Disney Plus was trying to buy rights. I think they bought rights to like Bleach and some other ones.
Yup.
And you see these the American side try to play into that buying out favor factor, because if they can't make it, they're gonna
They're
buy
gonna
rights.
license it.
Yeah, they're gonna license it.
Which
And
is
that-
also funny because in October, like when the third part of Bleach starts airing, I will guarantee you, when Bleach first came to Disney Plus in the States, so you had Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War, which is the final arc, and then the series is over. So, and we waited 10 years, 6 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days for it to return. So people were hyped as fuck.
Right.
During the entire 12 weeks where the first core of the 1,000-Year Blood War aired, nothing on Disney Plus had higher viewing numbers than fucking Bleach, and it wasn't even their own product.
Jeez.
And then when the second core aired, once again, every single week, the new Bleach episode was the highest viewed episode, even in replay counts, on the entire fucking service. It's like you're getting beaten on your own platform by shit you license elsewhere. How bad do you look right now, you fucking scrubs?
Yeah.
And this October, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah. No,
We're gonna shit on them again.
It's and well, and Netflix has done that too with some series. I know Knights of Sidonia was on there for a while. And
Yep,
some
they
other-
had Neon Genesis Evangelion on there.
Yeah.
They had like right now they are licensing mad episodes of One Piece because they have the One Piece live action on there.
Yeah.
They're gonna license. They had for a long time. They had partner licensing with Crunchyroll for Demon Slayer.
Oh.
And Netflix, but Netflix goes like, okay, so you can watch it on Crunchyroll or you can watch it over here. It's not an exclusive right; it's shared rights. But what Disney did is no, they have exclusive rights to Disney Plus to Bleach to stream Bleach in the United States.
Yeah.
And again, like every time, like this October, it will happen the third time again. The fucking Bleach anime returns, and every week, every other product on that streaming site is fucking dead compared to it. It will be hilarious again. They're gonna eat shit for a third time. And then we have the fourth course, the final one, which comes out early next year, and then we're gonna fucking do it again. That's gonna be so hilarious.
It's like tying your own noose and saying, "Well, I better start climbing." Yeah.
You better start climbing. Like,
I better start
shit's
climbing.
gonna-
I better start climbing. Well, it's just a weird to see that back and forth go. But again, it does it kind of hijacked by these localizer portions of it, and not all of it is hijinks, but there are many that get the biggest contributor to the whole localization translation thing was Seven Seas. Seven Seas was the issue for a majority of stuff that's been, so far as I've seen, mistranslated or whatnot, and they're still in business. It's like, really?
Yeah. And okay, and Dara, why does your chat hate you?
What?
Why do they want the two of us to do Squid Game together? Like, what the fuck?
What you? Good thing. That's a South Korean thing. That doesn't work. No.
Yeah, like first of all, that's South Korean. Like, but, I mean, close enough, I guess. But why would you do that to poor Dara to have to do Squid Game with me? Like, what the fuck?
The money's not worth it. The money's not. I want to see $1 trillion before I even touch that. Before I even touch it, there'd be $1 trillion on the par. If not, then there you go.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, but even if $1 trillion are up for grabs, why would they put you against me? Like, what the fuck?
Hey, you know what?
How unfair is this?
Hey, look, leave it. Let's put it this way. You know, when someone asks you what you do for a Klondike bar, don't go joining Squid Game.
No. Not a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, it got popular because of it being what it is, but still, you sometimes you only get the one and done, and that's it. Anything you try to do after is just gonna mess it up. But anyway, so it's the top of the hour, and we've gone an hour, which is awesome. But at the top of the hour of every hour, I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves. You don't really have anything in your stuff, so all I gave
not yet.
Not yet, but I gave
it's
your
in the
Twitter
works.
It's in the works. But I did give your Twitter X thing. But if you want to sell yourself, as the kids would say, the floor is yours.
I mean, what is there big to sell? Like, obviously, on Wednesdays when Tombi is streaming, I'm on the hump day. When we do our weekly podcast to just shit on stupid people for like 3 hours. And outside of that, well, again, like other things are in the works, specifically on the YouTube side of things. So once that one gets figured out and gets done, it will be literally the same name as displayed here. And otherwise, I'm just fucking trolling people on Twitter. Yeah. Which is literally like, it's right now it has become, for the strangest reason, it has become my most favorite thing to just watch people have an opinion about something they have no fucking clue over. And then I literally just call them out for being either a fake tourist or a fucking bot, and then I mute them. And then I just watch them have a fucking meltdown and get no response, and then they get even angrier.
He's not listening to me. He's not. Yeah, mute. I've had to use mute a couple times. Yeah. But
the funny thing is, because like literally right before we went live, I saw somebody be like, because if you haven't heard, the superbly successful game Concord is shutting down this Friday.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and so you had like literally one guy sit there, yeah, but the Chuds will take this as a win and be all toxic. And I'm like, you didn't even play the game, motherfucker, because nobody did. Shut your bitch ass up. And I just muted him, called him a bot.
you can't say nobody because there was a counter for the number.
Yeah, 600 people.
600 people. So there was so you can't say nobody. But on a grander scale against other games, it can appear that there was nobody playing it. But you can't say nobody because that's hyperbole. That's exactly.
The reason I would go so far as to say nobody played it is if you look at the last player count that was up to date, the player count was over the last 24 hours, a measly 130 people were online in that game worldwide via Steam.
I don't know how big. I don't know if it's like a AAA studio or whatever.
Produced by Sony.
Yeah, well then that's AAA. So for them it's nothing. But I mean, the numbers alone.
That's nobody. Like 130 people worldwide on Steam. That's nobody.
Yeah, but I would. But taking the technical aspect, I wouldn't say nobody because somebody was playing it. It's just it wasn't done. And I haven't paid too much attention to the Concord thing. I just don't really care. I don't care. Sorry. But yeah, I've heard bits and pieces here, and it's just, oh wow, a studio made something that was just crapshoot, and it became preachy about political things and all stuff. Well, guess what? There you go.
It's I mean, it's not just that, but like the main thing why Concord failed is very simple. It's a bad video game.
Yeah, well,
that's the main thing, because the most damning review of the entire game on YouTube doesn't even mention like the backwards politicking, how every character is like from the fucking alphabet mafia. Nothing. He literally just sits there and it's like, okay, The gun handling is terrible. The map design is shit. The
Right.
characters all look fucking weird as hell. Their abilities are fucking useless.
Yeah.
Every map has at least 2 characters that are innately broken on it. And if your team has neither of them, you're going to instantly lose because the other team will just shit on you. And the entire balancing on the game is ass fucking backwards, and nobody should play this. That's the most damning review of the entire game, and it mentions none of its politics because the politics don't matter if your gameplay inherently is already shit.
Yeah, there was that, and again, you had the Suicide Squad game as well, which apparently they're closing down. They're getting rid of some people with that one as too.
Yeah,
So
they're having releases like Rocksteady is cutting costs and is laying off staff.
it's with any AAA company, having 100 people work for you to make a game is just a recipe for disaster in its own right, because you have smaller studios that work pretty well and do pretty well. Like was it Supergiant, right? Supergiant, made Pyre. It made
Transistor, Bastion,
Transistor, Bastion. They made the Hades ones.
Yeah,
both
Hades 1 and 2.
Well, of course, Hades 2 had its issues as well. But the point of the matter is that you had something small like Supergiant Games, I think is what they call.
Yes.
Studios are, and then sometimes you have people who are just doing it themselves. So you have to come to the conclusion that AAA in its own outright form are pointless because they take up so much money, so many people, and they need to make big mucho bango. You have people out there using RPG makers. You have people out there using Unreal Engine, which to a certain degree is free. You have people out there using all sorts of tools that are either free or cheap to whatever, and they're making games and they're making thousands to maybe hundreds of thousands off it. And you have to have a AAA studio in order to make God of War. I'm sorry to tell you, it's all about IP at that point. And Santa Monica is not going to last forever. It can't, because it's not. It doesn't have enough to survive. And it has a couple hundred people within its doors, and it's just like.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, just look at Game Science. Like, they just released Black Myth Wukong, which is incredibly successful. Like, over 16 million copies worldwide in 10 days. Like, that's fucking like. Imagine the scope of just having like your first ever major release title, 16 million copies in fucking 10 days. Like, that's mad as fuck. And Game Science, like the entire division of Game Science, like the entire studio, not just the Wukong part of it, is like 180 people maybe. And meanwhile, at fucking Ubisoft, you have over 20,000 employees. It's like, why?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to look up the a lot of over. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of overproduced games, and so I was trying to figure out what they use to. Hold on. I was trying to figure out what they used to make Black Myth Wukong, but they used Unreal Engine 5 to make Black Myth Wukong. If you haven't seen UE5 yet, that when they came out the demo for Unreal Engine 5, the look of it was insane enough because of all the lighting and stuff that it was just incredible. So for them to use Unreal Engine 5, and of course, Unreal Engine itself has gotten better and better over time. This is up to a point. Unreal Engine 5 is free to use. Anyone can use it. You just have to download, the Epic Store, and then download the stuff from there, and you can make whatever. I've seen photographers use it. I've seen other artists use it. UE5 is just insane of the use, or UE Unreal Engine in general. Heck, they use Unreal Engine for Fortnite.
Yes,
Fortnite. And they have
as horrible as that fucking garbage is, but yes.
Garbage that makes millions. They got the microtransactions on them, so.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at fucking Diablo Immortals. Garbage that makes millions. Like, fucking hell. No, but the funny thing is, again, just compare the two. Like, Game Science has in total, like, the entire bracket is 180, 185 people max. And fucking Ubisoft has like 20,000 employees, and they are shitting out right now fucking Star Wars Outlaws, which looks and plays like fucking ass, and has a weird, funny sound glitches where the voice, like if you play Star Wars Outlaws and let's say you play in German, in certain cutscenes the language will just spaz out and still switch back to English.
Yeah.
So they haven't even fixed that one yet, which is fucking great. And then in fucking November they're gonna shit out Assassin's Creed. Which is and pre-order numbers are not looking good for that horse shit, which I'm very happy about because fuck you idiots. But you have 20,000 employees and you're producing ass. And these people at Game Science have like 180-ish people, and they just released their first ever major title and sold 16 million copies. Get bent.
Yeah, it goes to show you don't need AAA, and I think AAA studios are going to be things that are be gone with the wind because you can't sustain that big amount of crowd on little budget. And believe me, it is little budget. You're paying graphic designers, producers, all this kind of cash flow is going in different directions. But anyway, before we continue further, I forgot to do my end of things, so that went on a tangent itself.
Derailing.
But anyway, guys, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Rumble, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, following, or leaving a comment, one of it, all of it, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is to help with the engagement factor, which helps in having more people on, like Hanayama-san and Tombi and Smoo and so many others. Again, I enjoy the many people having. Of course, just a quick look of all the people that are. Whoops, that's upside down. I haven't filled out the rest, but this is quickly the list of all the people that are coming this month so far. And I just, other than one person I'm waiting on, which is Cyber Mario, I have filled up September. So if you would like to know where I am located at, or if you'd like to have the opportunity to come on yourself, go down the link below in the description on either end. Go to that. You'll find my Twitter eggs. I have a Discord, but it's mostly for DMing. I have an email, and I also have my YouTube or Rumble over there. And if you don't want to do that, just put a comment on either YouTube or Rumble, and we can get started. Because again, helping with the engagement, and then also finding my link to find where my other places at helps immensely, because Hanayama-san was met through Tombi. Tombi was met through Jack Tarlad. Jack Tarlad was met through a lady I once had on. It was on her show, Jessica Reloaded. So you see that line right there? You see that line right there of person after person after person? I would not have had over 100 different people on if I didn't make the connections I've had with many other different people. And of course, Jack Tard led, Tombi led to Smoo and you, and then of course Yarn Witch is another one. There's so many other people with so many connections between all of these, and you have that same opportunity too. So if you want to take that up, either leave a comment, YouTube or Rumble, or go down to my link below and find me in other places. And again, guys, any help with the engagement is a plus on either end, because I do stream to 2 platforms, not one. I have my reasons of that, but that's a story for another time. What is Distracted saying? Imagine if we
don't just don't.
Never.
Don't do that.
You'd never hear me say it. It'd be like fun, and then you're just like, God dang it.
But I'm pretty sure that was meant for me, because we're only like barely an hour in. I believe I dropped like 50 of them.
Oh goodness, yeah, you'd be drunk, Dad. Me, you'd be dry as a ghost. Like, come on, say one. I want to drink it.
If you wait for Dara to say fuck, you're gonna wait till eternity. If you wait for me to say it, wait 10 seconds.
If someone, I'll say this: if someone did a 500, I'd say it. If someone paid a 500, I'd do it.
That's gonna be clipped and put on the fucking internet and be like, Dara put the challenge out.
Yeah, you want to give me a 500? We'll go for it. That's a 500 smackaroos. That's well worth it, right?
and then you have me just fucking, and that's the funny part. And I'm pretty sure that's also why you confused me for being fucking British. I swear like a drunken sailor.
Well, no, a part of it is the factor of, I assume because Smoo was with the UKers, which Tombi, Jack Tarlad, and so many others, I figured, so he must, and he speaks English, okay, so he must be from the UK. No, that's not the case. And the same thing for you. You have the same sort of accent, and then you could tell that you're Germanic and the accent. It's just you if you don't listen for it, you're not going to pay attention to it. So that was on my part. But no, yeah,
which is perfectly fine. Like, I don't mind.
right. And it's not nothing against. I mean, there's already a whole host of issues in your country anyway. That nothing I say is going to be of any importance. But it's just the confusing factor because what Germany is. I'd be in the ER. Yes, you would be distracted.
You would not be in the ER. Like, if you just took a shot for every time I said it, you would already be dead.
Yeah, that's true. Alcohol poisoning. How'd he die? He's heard the F word so many times. He poisoned himself with alcohol. God dang, that must have been a big show.
Big Show, barely an hour old, already like fucking 60 F-bombs dropped, easy. It's like well, 1 a minute. it's like
that scene in Demolition Man where you just saying the curse words and taking the paper, saying the curse word, taking the paper. It's just like that's a lot of paper.
I just don't give a fuck about the paper. And there was another one.
We are all drunken sailors. No, that's not right. I don't drink, so you can't say that. Although I do tend to store my words. No, oops, German. No, he sounds German. Yes, he does sound German because he is German.
Correct.
He is from the Deutschland. Yeah, Deutschland.
Yes.
I almost got that. Ooh, man, I'm glad I got that right.
Imagine if you said it with like that level of confidence and then it's wrong.
Well, I mean, again, you have. The culture stuff, videos and movies and TV shows where you have those words. It's like, do you, Sie sprechen Sie Deutsch? That sort of stuff. And that's sort of like maybe Hogan's Heroes or whatever it was. Or I know nothing, stuff like that. But you do get a kind of exaggerated form of a culture's, how they act, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's, I'm pretty sure there's comedy in Germany, but, Robin Williams always has a good joke about being asked by a German talk show host, why do you think there aren't as many comedians in Germany? He said, well, do you think you hadn't, taken them all out? He doesn't say exactly like that, but still, when I wish I could play it, but all that stuff. Germans were very good coders when I was young. Beautiful, clean buildings. Yeah, there you go. You do a Trump moment. The beautiful buildings, the cleanest of buildings. You would have never seen a dirty building in Germany. My dad cursed a lot. Oh, well, there you go. That's not a fun time.
It depends, because if he just curses a lot, that's fine. If he curses a lot at you, that's no longer fine.
Well, and you think about when you hear German in a sense of it, it almost sounds like it almost sounds in the same vein of Russian, but in how it said, like Russian sounds very angry, very stern. German, in a way, can sound very angry, very stern. But there's also a romantic side to it, I believe.
The thing with German is basically like it always depends on, like, first of all, who says it, and like obviously every language can sound like angry or aggressive if you want it to be. True. But with German specific, it's like, okay, the better you are at natively speaking German, the more like not toned down, but like the more eloquent you can speak, and you don't like the wording itself, like the phrasing, doesn't sound as hard hitting and doesn't sound innately aggressive in tone.
Right.
So the younger somebody is that speaks German, they will always sound more like quote unquote angry. And the older you get and the more relaxed you get because you're used to speaking it over and over and over again, it slowly degrades and becomes more like normal tone and less aggressive.
Yeah, no, and again, you have the same thing with Russian, where Russian sounds like you're being ordered to take somebody out, but there are soft points, like you were saying for German, where you can where it doesn't sound like that. You're right. There are ways, Americans, they just sound like they're screaming all the time, but or drunk screaming. That's a totally different stuff.
And then you have Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, where is the food? Where are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Where's the lamb sauce? I'd like more lamb sauce. But he's made a living off that, and he's really not that type of guy, though.
Oh no! Like he's actually like mega chill. Doesn't really like screaming a lot. But then on TV, he pretends to be the asshole that likes to scream a lot.
Well, there was a video put out not too long ago, and it was on Twitter X, and it showed his daughter was trying to do a magic trick or whatever.
Yeah, and then she splashed the water in his face and then decked him with an egg.
I was like, for the comparison of what Americans see plus what his kids see, to the feeling of getting away with that was just pure attention. But for them, it's just bad. It's just that. I mean, and he did do his own sort of home show where he was showing cooking at home, and I think there were times where his kids would get involved. But he's not like that in general. That is a brand to sell. What you see
Exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he can get angry, and if he gets angry, you know what it'll sound like. What is,
Yeah, definitely.
I realize that doesn't make sense, but imagine 145 plus 52 in English, we add and make 7. I don't know, you're trying to do arithmetic. I'm done. 197 backwards. Boobs? I don't know what's going on here. You're already Hey, Sammy, what's going on? Sammy is from the UK. But in Germany, 1979, 790.
It's basically how we we have a very weird way of saying numbers.
Oh,
Like for example, if you say 151,
Yes.
you say 100 first, then the 50, then the 1.
right. You break
If you
it down
say
into
it in German, you start with the 100, which would be 100, and then you go to the 1 and then the 50.
Okay. Yeah. In German, it's 7. Oh no, he's saying. Okay, I see you're saying it's how it's like in Japanese, right? It's how because they have what is it?
Oh no, in Japanese it's even more weird.
Yeah,
Because
you have
because in Japanese, like you have the numbers from
Sorry.
1 to 10.
Mhm.
So you have the numbering from 1 to 10.
Oh.
And then there is no new number to for 11. 11 is just the number 10 and the number 1 written right next to each other without a break.
Juichi. Juichi is how I think it's supposed to be said. Juichi.
So and then you repeat that one till 99, and
Yes.
then comes the next number, which is hyaku, which means 100.
Yaku, yes.
And then you repeat. Then you have hyaku ichi, which would be 101.
Right.
And then
But
110 would be hyaku juichi, which is 110 to 1.
yes.
And then now you have every component to go to 999 because you repeat the same process. And then you get your next one, which is sen, which is 1000.
Yes.
And then you repeat again.
Yeah. And then because there wasn't there, I think it's Hachi is the only one that's not in line with, because there's either 18 or 20 because Hachi is
Hachi is 8, Juhachi is 18,
what was it?
Nijuhachi is 28.
Okay, but there was a specific one for, I think it was a 20 or something, like 20 or 21, where there's a specific one. It's not in line with Jew. It doesn't have Jew before it. It's simply on alone by itself, but I can't remember what it was.
But that depends, because again, like you have like every 10 numbers. So from 10 to 19 is Ju Ichi, Ju Ni, Ju San, Ju Yon, Ju Go, Ju Roku, Ju Nana, Ju Hachi, Ju Q, and then you are at 19. And then it becomes Niju, which is 20.
Niju.
It's
Niju.
210, it's 20.
Yes.
And then you go Niju, and then Niju Ichi, and then all the way down again till Niju Q, which is 29. And then it becomes Sanju, which is 30, and then you repeat again.
Yeah, it's very complicated. We're gonna just say, but I mean, for us, it's 100, 101. We say 200 and 300 and so forth. So it's not in the same thing. But we do have our own complications as well, especially when they tried to introduce, like, what was it, Common Core? That was oh, that was I saw that. It's like, look, basic arithmetic is basically so for us in America, basic arithmetic should just be for the building blocks, right? You need something to build off of. You have a foundation, which is the basic stuff, 1, 2, 3, multiplication, division, all those things. And of course how you do year, month, date, all that sort of thing. I think that's the same way that Australia does theirs too. I think majority of the world does it sort of that way as well. The date stuff.
We do so in Europe. You do day, month, year. You do month, day, year, and then specifically in East Asia, it's year, month, day.
Year, month, day. Okay, year, month, day. When I coded the date, it's so he was in the Asian faction, is what you're saying for jabs, because he's year, month, day. Okay, And then for Jab's English is month, day, month, year. Yeah, because it's going in increments, right? You're starting with the small and you're going up. So you have day, month, and then the year factor because you're starting from small and going up while you're going from big and then going down, so to speak, year to the month and day.
Yeah, but for example, like you would say it's May 19th because you go month first, then day. I would
Yeah.
say it's the 19th of May.
Yeah, well, and we could do that too. It's just we do the more the first one, the beginner one. And hey Jesus, hey,
Yeah.
you let that Abe guy know over there that he needs to calm it down. All right, that's a lot of Jews. Well, I mean that's just how the word is sounded. It's like there's each or ichi ni san chi go roku
Yon.
yon.
Chi is only used like because there's the disparity when you count. It's like if you're counting numbers, it's
Yes.
ichi ni san yon. But if you're
Well-
counting like the first, like if you're counting like okay, it's the first sun, like the second sun, third sun, and then the fourth sun. That
Right.
would be chi.
Yeah. Well,
So
and
so chi is if you're counting like if you're like counting and
Mm-hmm.
in numbers, 4 is yon.
Yeah, well, I know why she is not mostly said because that has the same connotation as death. So that's why they don't do it, that way. That's where yawn comes in to take over. But she, as far as I remember, is she was part of the first 1 through 9. Well, 1 through 10, obviously, because Sku and Ju. I don't dare speak Japanese. Wait, I've only learned a little bit. I did a little Duolingo, but I've done a lot of different other places too. There's there's this gentleman called. Oh, he did a book like from zero to Japanese or whatever. And then of course you have people like Dogen, and the funny thing is you have a lot of these creators, whether they're Japanese or living in Japan or traveling to Japan, and they show, they do the language part, and then they show all the goodies from Japan. And you say, remember that scene when the Griswolds were celebrating Oktoberfest? Look, a lot of people like celebrating Oktoberfest. Why? Because of beer. Or
Obviously.
or as the Japanese would say, biru.
Yes.
But yeah, that's, again, I know a few words here and there. But the one thing I really like is getting to see all the food sections, right? Because you get to see the different, and of course their food is not great to eat, but there is some health stuff to it because of the salt and all that. I've heard that's been a component.
Yeah.
Because it's during the hot season, they sweat a lot, all this stuff. But one of the things I've really liked is the vending machines. Those, good Lord, I'd be like, you could have. There's a cafe. I've seen it many a times where some of these people go to a 24/7 cafe and it's just vending machines in there. I'm just like, I could do it. I could just live there, live on the machines, all that stuff. But it's just a huge, because you don't see that here in the U.S. It's like over millions of vending machines all across the country, and from the rudimentary stuff to like one. I think there's one that's sort of like for like in times of emergency or whatnot, like earthquake or not, and they have one has an AED attached to it, and they have all this other stuff. I never went to I don't even know if they do Oktoberfest in the U.S. I'm pretty sure there's some places do. There was a thing when Fallout 76 came out. They had a festival, German festival. I can't remember what it was called. It started with an F. Oh, crime! I'm gonna have to look it up, aren't I? Fallout 76 German, because I can't remember what it's called. German festival, because I know they did, because Virginia had Germanic roots. Fastnacht is, I think,
Fastnacht, yes.
Fastnacht. It's a that's the festival that's in 7. I'll show you guys. And there we go. I'm gonna say it wrong. Fastnacht. It's yeah, I know you're gonna correct me on it, but you get a mask and all this other stuff, but I can't I can't know what is the festival itself. It looks like it's a festival of masks, but I could be wrong just by what they show. So what is it?
So, what it is basically it's a carnival festival.
Right. Yeah, because it says join the fun during the Fastnacht day. Oh gosh, parade and earn a chance at a festive mask. And it looks like that. It's almost it sounds of a reminding of what was that festival in the Hunchback of Notre Dame? They were doing a festival.
Yeah, which is also a carnival festival.
Yeah, and then of
Yeah.
course you also have Carnival, which is, down in South America. So yeah, it's just that was what I remembered of that as a Germanic festival. Of course you have Oktoberfest, right? But there's another one that they decided to throw in because of the roots of Germans coming over to America in the early 1900s and all that stuff. The original Japanese power show was called, I thought it was called Sentai something. Kyoryu
Sentai. Yes.
Yeah, Kyoryu Sentai. Because that's so for the American version, they just took out snippets of the show and put that into the American version.
And then added extra drama.
Yeah, and then added extra drama. Stubende? I've never heard of that. Do you know what that is, Stubende?
Yes, but that's not a festival per se. So it's nothing that's celebrated, but that was not in Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Thank fuck. Because nobody needs that shit.
I thought Fastnacht meant something rude like fast night or old.
No.
That would be. They'd be like the Germans were way ahead of the time. Oh goodness, yeah, get out of here. Delete. You're a spammer. Get out of here. Get out of here with your message.
You're a bot.
Yeah, you're a bot. I didn't have any of my. That's all right though. Hearing crickets, yes. I have my window open, so that's why you're hearing crickets. Because it's still daylight out where I'm at. So, ta-da. Because he is 6 hours ahead of my time. So right now should be around 12, or I don't know if you go by military time, but it should be around 12:30, midnight-ish around his time.
Yeah, it's 12:30 a.m.
So yeah, and you guys, when you guys do Chinwag, you guys start so early. I'm at work, so I can't really join you until later. And I hope I'll try to get back on again. But I have, as you just saw, my calendar. My calendar is full.
Yeah, you got some work to do, buddy.
And I haven't even added the rest of it. And of course, yes, yesterday my person didn't show up. They got COVID, and of course, I hope to be able to reschedule them. And I've had a few of those so far where someone gets sick or something happens, I have to reschedule it. Akuma is one of them. We had to reschedule her. Vivian was another I rescheduled. But I you know what? And I try outreach for more too. I've obviously in the backgrounds have been trying to outreach to different people, DMing them, because that's the only way I can do it is DMing them on Twitter X. I don't have any other way. Some of the people I have had on don't have Twitter, but for the most part, I do most of my messaging through Twitter X, which is how I got to you and of course Tombi and all the others. But it's still a thing where I'm trying to still outreach to ask more, because again, September is full. I've got October and the rest of this year to follow, and of course, I have my once a month stream, the Dara's Hangout Den, which of course now that you've been a guest, you'll be a part of, and I'll send you the link for the community side of that. And then of course, starting in November, I'll be doing my Rumble Squared, which will be Rumble focused, but it will allow the involvement of having people that either have been on the show, haven't been on the show, but use Rumble, or people who are curious or piqued about wanting to use Rumble and want to know more. And that will be a show of voicing concerns and stuff, and maybe some positive connotations of using the platform. Because again, I do stream to both platforms. I do really want to see Rumble grow. It's getting there over time, and I know people want, from the many perspectives I've seen, many people want it to be the YouTube of now. Well, YouTube wasn't as this way back in the day. So right now I'm comparing this Rumble to the 11 years in of YouTube. So however YouTube was at in 2016 is what I'm comparing to, not the YouTube of today, because again, new platform just started getting itself built up, and I think when they got their when they went public, which was I think was like 2019 2019 or 2020, and so to compare it to the YouTube of now is kind of a misnomer, because you want to compare it to where YouTube was at in its 11th year, and right now Rumble is in its 11th year, and that's where I'd rather compare it to. I know a lot of people still have their issues with tech issues and all this stuff, and that's fine, but that's what Rumble Squared is going to be. It is just in dealing in a manner, of course, that will many of people will have the opportunity. So if you are interested, whoever's watching, and would like to either learn more about using Rumble or are using Rumble and have voices of concerns or positivity, whatever, that's what that show is going to be for. It'll be a positive forward-thinking notion rather than just complain, because I know a lot of people would rather complain and all that stuff. And some have a right, a reason to. They have the reasons to do it, but we need to do more. And this is just me trying to do my own version of a Rumble roundtable. But anyway, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there, trying to explain that part. But no, it's having all these different people on, like yourself, and of course Smooth. That's 2 people now I've had on from Germany, just like I've had on many people from the UK, and I've had 2 people on from Australia. Of course, I can't get the other one back, but I'll keep trying. It's always a schedule thing. It's a schedule thing, especially when you have they're another content creator, and so like you're working around their schedule. But I mean, I've had on Vex Electronica, I've had it on Words of Paradise, and so many other people, and I'm looking forward to doing more. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. I've had people from YouTube. I've had people on Twitch. I've had a few people from Twitch, honestly. And my thing is trying to reach up beyond all that scope, because again, why not? Why are we, I get YouTube is king of the platforms and will be for quite some time, but I'm not. Well, you don't have to be positive. My point of contention is that why is it so much easier to complain rather than to build? Why is it so much easier rather to destroy than build? Because it is. Destruction.
I was about to say that's easy.
Yeah, destruction is. Everyone knows it's easier to destroy a Lego set, build, than it is to build it. It takes hours to build it. It just takes seconds to destroy. And so for me, I'm trying to do this thing where I get it. I get the concerns and stuff, but hey, you get to come on. If you're using the platform, you get to give your point of view of things, and we get to go from there. But we get to go in a more positive, forward-thinking direction. And the same with, my show Darachat. I've talked about just about whatever. We've gone from talking about German stuff to talking about anime and just going around all over the place. There is no set course. It probably is a little more fraying than what you try to do on the Chinwag, but I'm not trying to come against Tombi or anything. It's just what it is.
No. And the thing is just like when we do Tombi's stream, when we do the hump day, it's basically okay. We just collect the happenings of the week.
Yeah.
Specifically like surrounding mostly entertainment. And then we just talk about it. If stupid shit happens, we're gonna laugh at it. If something amazing happened, like for example last week, because last week we had the first numbers of Black Myth Wukong already cracking 10 million units sold. And obviously, like, nobody had anything bad to say about it. Like, I have played a little bit of it over at a friend's place. He has finished the game in both normal and on New Game Plus already, and is now collecting secrets and just trying to get the monk even more stronger to just fucking beat enemies to the fucking dirt. Yeah. And that's just it. And it's literally like, if stupid shit happens, then we're gonna mock it and laugh at it. And if amazing shit happens, then we're gonna sing its praise. That's what it is. It's just that, like, at current day, specifically if you look at entertainment, like the Rings of Power numbers, by the way, are out for season 2. Between episode 1 and 2, they already lost 50% of their viewers. And it's like, what did you expect? Like, obviously, they're gonna lose fucking numbers because just look at the shit they're producing. And if they produce shit, and if they try to force feed you that shit, specifically try to force feed it to you as, oh no, if you don't like this, you're just an asshole. Well, then I'm gonna be an asshole and shit on it even harder.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
like that's just how that works. And the
Right.
funny thing is, specifically with the Rings of Power, like episode 1 started with like 1.8 million. It's now down to 902,000.
It's still
They're gonna
low.
absolutely lose their ass again.
Yeah, which is kind of like, you want people, from my perspective, you want people to vote more with your wallet rather than just whatever. Because again, nothing against Tombi, I enjoy his stuff. It's just the how it's a very different form type than I'm used to. Like I can do it. I can go on a show. I can do, oh, what do you think about this? I can do that. It's just, for me, almost a bunch of other content creators are doing the same thing, and it's just, I'm just like, what more is there when we become the 24/7 news and all we're doing is perpetrating the same sort of thing? Now, I get it, right? You want the information to get out there. You want to be able to laugh at it, mock at it, whatever, because you want these studios to either correct their form or to fall flat. Which, I mean, a lot of it can be said about Disney itself. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, hell no.
But it's still going to keep going because people are still going to the parks. People are still on Disney Plus, and it's still up. People are still buying Disney products. Nothing has changed as much as other than just numbers. Is it the numbers enough to shut it down for good? No. But
But that's the thing. I mean, obviously, we say it jokingly in the moment, but that's the thing. Nobody wants Disney to actually go away. We want Disney to do better, to be at least like half of what it used to be, which was fun.
Right.
Like, because the perception is, oh, you just shit on it because you hate entertainment. No, we hate bad entertainment.
Right.
Like every studio, like even the greatest movie studio of all time had one giant stinker movie, right? And depending on the time period when that absolute stinker movie happened, what did they do? Either they laughed at it and be like, yeah, we really fucked this one up, and then the next movie was better, or they owned up to it and be like, okay, yes, the idea on paper sounded good, but the execution in film was shit, and then they did better. Meanwhile, Disney is so far up its own ass where they're producing shit after shit after shit. And then if you complain about it, like, this movie's ass, then you are immediately an Istanphobe, a racist, whatever. And then they try to fight you, the paying customer. And if you try to fight the paying customer, you're going to pay the price, not us. We can get entertainment elsewhere. You don't get customers elsewhere.
Right.
And that's why it's a fucking boneheaded decision to fight the customer. And so, no, we don't want Disney to go away because that would be stupid. Like, why would you want fucking Disney to go away? It's Disney.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you refuse to learn and the only thing you can do is spoon feed more shit, then you might as well fucking close the doors.
Right. And jabs.
It's failure to adaptation.
I don't know what SNF means, so you're gonna have to enlighten me what SNF means. I don't know. I don't know all the little acronyms. No, and I get that. Again, my thing is, I'm already in a space where there are tons of content creators, gaming, politics, all the above, and I'm in a space where I'm trying to do a something different that I didn't see other content creators do. Because again, content creators, in order to get at least to the point that I'm doing, right, to get 100 different people on, you'd have to go a whole year to get 100 different people on, because I have a special guest once a week or twice a week, right? I'm doing a guest a day, and I'm spinning in my head trying to figure out, why is it that we have this and what is he saying? Sorry, I'll get back to that. I had a set of Disney Encyclopedia as a toddler. Well, I don't know if that means anything for SNF. I don't know what SNF means. You have to enlighten me. But no, my thing is, like, my thing is, at this point in time, we have the world's largest library of academia in our hands. And the majority of the part of what we use it for is to demoralize, to beat up, and slap each other around. Now, there's some positivity to find out of it, sure. But what we haven't done is use this tool that we have created. Yes, the internet is a tool. And yes, Rumble Studios, these platforms, they're all tools to some degree, and they can be used for good or bad. And we've ended up throwing money into the mix. And now you have people making content just to make content so they can make a quick buck. And you see it time and time again. And I'm just trying to see here, like, this thing that I'm using to try to reach across the table to other people, whether we agree or not, why is it not more than? Why do I feel like I'm not the only person doing free form conversation, don't get me wrong. But why does it feel like I'm the only person trying to do these many different people? Do I have celebrities on? I don't know. What would you consider a YouTube celebrity? I don't know. But it feels like we've taken this tool, and it's the same thing happened with Twitter X, right? Once they added monetization, bait post. All these posts was just trying to get money out. You have some content, you have creators asking questions in every single post, and for what?
Easy clicks. Easy clicks, easy engagement, easy money. That's all it is. It's like specifically rage baiting. Rage baiting is the most obnoxious shit people are doing. That's why I catch somebody, I go to their fucking Twitter page and I'll see like, okay, rage post, muted, thank you, fuck you, bye.
Yeah.
Very simple policy, works every time. No, but the funny thing is, like, obviously what you are doing is basically get as many people as possible, many different people as possible, and just have a conversation about wherever the road takes you, which is a very simple but effective concept, to have different topics with different people all throughout the week. So you barely run into, let's say, the problem of repetition. Yes. Because how many people back to back are going to talk about exactly the same thing and have exactly the same opinion? Like, that would be kind of...
Those want to come back. I'm not going to try to call them out for it. But the point of the matter is I'm trying to do this thing where it's building connections. It's building a same thing with I did the whole community thing with the Dara's Hangout Den. It's trying to build a place where I've had these people on and they can cross over with each other and they can connect with each other. And there's more of this cross-pollinating with different people, whether they're creator or not. And the point of the matter is yes, I know content creators build their communities, but I've heard the stories of when they've used Discord. I've heard the stories of this or that. Why? It confounds me. I don't know what it schadenfreuds me. There we go. It schadenfreuds me. I think I might be using that one wrong. But the point of the matter is, it confounds me where I've watched YouTube for a very long time, back when it was still, had the blockiness of the look and stuff. But again, I'm not here to come down on anyone. I'm just asking the question is, why are we at a point where it feels like we're the 24/7 news and we could do so much more with it? We can connect with people across the way. I can connect with you here in the U.S. in a state called Indiana, to you in Germany, wherever your, I don't know what they call it, provinces, prefectures. I don't know what the term is.
Technically speaking, like, we have, like, just like you, we have states, but we only have 16. You have fucking 50.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, 50. Of course, there'd be ones with 51. What is Jab saying? I need to check, Hanayama. Do I have to call you?
Banned. Immediately banned. Banned immediately. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, goodness, it's funny. But again, I'm coming at this from a position of, I'm seeing this thing where I'm having on guests. And again, it's not just a one-time ordeal. I'm having on people time after time after time. And I'm asking myself, why is it that a content creator who goes full-time can only have one guest on per week? And it's usually another creator, right? Don't get me wrong. I've had other, Tombi's a creator, Jack Tarle's a creator. I've had on many other creators. So I would be calling myself out at that point. But I've also had non-creators on too.
Which would currently be me.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But you're going into that point. My question is, if I were a content creator, well, I am. If I were a content creator with 100,000 followers, right, and some of them may be bots, you never know, because even YouTube still has issues. If I have 100,000 people, why is there I can't even outreach to like a quarter of that to have on, just one person at a time, or half of that? I get there's a reliability thing. You don't know the other person. You want to be safe and sure. Totally. Yeah, especially when you're just on YouTube and all your financial is just on YouTube and you don't freak yourself out. That's where I kind of whatever. But for me, it's like you have a content creator with 100,000 people, and the only other people they bring on is their friends and people they've with other creators they want to build up on or so forth. I'm just like, you're missing out on potential of vast proportions. I mean, I'm not gonna get everyone. I know that for a fact, but.
I mean, but the funny thing is, like, you could even go the safe route, like, just like fucking brainstorming ideas. If you are not sure if this is, let's call it a safe candidate, you can easily go and have as content on your channel and like kind of like an interview series, but it's pre-recorded. So you can and then you just record the episode. And if you then realize, oh no, that episode, like I cannot air this, like this episode was absolute fucking ass, then you just don't release it. Okay, whoop-de-doo. But you can then just fucking bench pre-record a bunch of them and then go, okay, this one was good, this one was good, this one was good, or rather, this one is usable. And then if you have the odd act that's not usable, you're not really missing out if you pre-record them. Obviously, if you're doing a live show, that's a bit more risque on that side. But like there are ways to get around it. There are ways to get around like many different issues, and like one of the things is also depending on the creator and depending on what the main content is they create. For example, if you have a more gaming focused creator, getting them to have like take for example, let's go back. Let's take Tombi. Tombi does mostly gaming streams, and we have our once a week like podcast. Yeah. And so if you take that one, and then we have like, okay, so you either now take away one extra gaming stream, or if you have the free time, you would pre-record a session and then have it available via video. But that also takes time. And that time, because Tombi still works full time. Yeah. So now he's working full time and is a full time content creator, with the majority focus being around gaming. So now you need to juggle even more of your free time. At some point, you also want to have actual free time. Right. And so now that gets difficult. But if you are somebody in the content sphere that mostly focuses on having like podcasts, interviews, kind of that series, then now you're becoming lazy if you only have like, let's say, the same 5 guests every week, right? And then it's like it becomes the idea of, okay, so what is your primary content? What is your secondary content? And can you integrate both of them, and or can you not integrate it? And then it's also dependent, like, for example, with your case, you still work full time, then you do this show. So at what point do you sacrifice even more of your potential overlapping free time to be like, okay, but I want more content? Or is it you actually enjoy the content that you don't mind sacrificing more of your actual free time, which is not related to creating content and doing work?
The latter.
And so that gets a bit of a juggle, and everybody needs to find their work balance to have that juggle where you have like, okay, so you have you work full time, you then do YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, whatever, and then you still want to have a life away from both work and the internet, and then you need to juggle that free time, and how everybody uses that is up to everybody individually in itself.
No, and don't get me wrong, it's not coming after anyone. It's just asking the
question. No. It's just like so that's how I see it. Like, as somebody that is completely on the outside end, it's like, okay, right. So if you have already 2 construction sites that require your full-time attention, at what point do you start to sacrifice one of them or your remaining free time to quote unquote do more? right?
No, yeah. The question is right. And what is Jabs trying to say now? Now this is interesting. Your personality means I won't.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, I get that point too. There are a lot of
You want to fight?
not me. There are a lot of again, there are a lot of extracurricular activities that some of these people are parents, some of these people are. But when I'm coming to a content creator, right, and they're just sticking to YouTube or Twitch or whatever, they do the site, the platform full time. They have taken it upon themselves to do this content creation full time, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy doing this faction because one, I get to meet people like you. I get to actually, I didn't get to meet you, but I get to talk to you. I haven't seen your face, but the point of the matter is, I get to talk to people like you and Tombi and so many others, and I get to keep going and going and going. I am greedy in the people I get to have on, and I want to have more because there's a loss of connection that we're having here, and we have this thing that can connect us all around the world. We're using this tool and more the financial benefit. Don't get me wrong. I do like that. I do like the financial benefit, but that's not the main point of why I do this. I do this because we have a lot of divisiveness over the politics, over certain cultural aspects, over this, over that, over whatever. Where's the point where we just come together and talk about whatever, and we get across this biased line that we have in with ourselves, because we are all biased. We're all biased. There's no
Everybody is.
Yeah, there's no
And if somebody tells you that they are not, they're straight up lying into your face. So
Right.
Everybody is biased in one specific thing or more, in one specific way or more, but everybody is biased.
Right, and that's where this also is part of gaming for the win. Oh, look, there he is. Yep, trying to.
There he is. See,
But-
if you mention the name of the devil 3 times, he will appear.
I said Jack Carlin, he never shows up. No, I'm just joking. But I try to explain it in a way to understand that it's not about coming after people. It's about asking, you're using this tool, and it's mostly just, I mean, of course, some people are connecting, whatever, but would you still be, now that you're doing this as a full-time gig or close to and making money off it, would you still treat it the same if you made no money at all? Right? Like, if you made no money at all on this content creation field, Tombi or whoever's out there, whoever's watching, it doesn't have to be Tombi. I'm sorry, Tombi. I didn't mean to keep bringing your name up. It doesn't matter who you are. Whatever content creator you're out there, if you're watching this, would you still be doing this content creation if no money was involved? If you were just doing it for the pure enjoyment of, I have this thing I'd like to share, would you do it? Would you do it? Because I started this with no money what's at all. The money is just a bonus. The followers, the likes, the comments, all of that stuff other than the conversation is a bonus. The conversation is the main point. And by golly, have I had on some doozies. I mean, German is a doozy in itself, but at least you're not speaking to me all in Deutsch. And I'm just like, what is he saying?
I mean, I can.
No, I'd like to be able to speak to you for once. But the point of the matter is I'm coming at this from a perspective where I've watched a lot of different content creators, and I get it. You pick the niche and you go for it. Totally fine. Don't listen to me. I'm just coming at a questionnaire point where I'm saying we have this thing and we can connect to so many people all over. And Tombi, God bless him, he does something every Sunday where he's spotlighting a creator. It is a creator. On more on the YouTube and I think Kick, because I don't know what he considers his Rumble side, but he does spotlight creators, and that's pretty awesome, right? I do my pay it forward, and I do the Rumble side only because I can do more financially over there. But I just sit back and ask myself, how is it that I feel this way of this, of what I'm seeing, and yeah, other creators haven't taken up the mantle to do the same. I don't know. Some may have. I don't see them. I know there was. I know the stories of was it Theo Von? Theo Von had President Trump, but he's also had said of having like a lunch lady on and a garbage man on. So that's great. That's great. You can have high-end people, you can have low-end people. That's great. That's how it should be, because there's so many of us on this planet. There's like 8 billion people, and a chunk of them aren't even connected to the internet. And some of them I can't talk to because I don't know the language. But how is it that's a point that keeps getting missed? And again, it's not coming after, sort of just like asking the age-old question. I have this thing, this tool of wonder, right? This tool of wonder that we have. And the thing of connection keeps getting missed. I'm not perfect at this. You can the intro alone should have shown you that.
Hey, if you don't fuck up regularly, at least the fucking intro, are you even doing it right?
If I don't slow my words, it's not a fun time. But I just come at this with a question of, I see these people, some of them get very well known by either talking about a certain, like somebody, like you walk into the algorithm, you talk about, yeah, you're an old dude, but at least you know how it goes. You're an old fart, but you're a fart you don't want to be messed with. That's how I'll leave it as. But you see people play to the algorithm, right? YouTube is a big, play the algorithm, talk about the Star Wars and Star Trek, all these things that play to the algorithm, and it feels like, where's the line of true creation, right? Again, it comes back to the question I asked of, would you still be creating if no money was involved, right?
Yes.
That's where I come from. It's like I create this thing, which isn't really much creation. It's just sitting down and talking to someone, and maybe down the line I can have more with it. But for right now, I'm doing this thing where I either by myself with a few other people, as my Dara's Hangout Den has, or with the Rumble Square coming November, I get to do this thing where I just get to do sitting across the table sort of thing. And it's fantabulous. It's wonderful, because how often is it not within your regular life, right? Like, you go to the grocery store, you go to the gas station, and you speak Deutsch to your family and friends and all this stuff, and you just sit down and have a conversation about whatever's going on. Yes, you get into the politics thing, right? And Germany has its own issues, and so does America, and so do other countries. Or you get into the not just politics, but maybe gaming, if you like gaming, or a book or whatever. You get into this whole ball field that is just wide and far, and every time I have someone I knew, it feels like that. Like, there are some things I have to, like, of course I stream to YouTube, right? So I say, can't say big gamer words. I give you 98% of the field, the 2% is mine, right? That's 2%. I just ask to be respected. But it keeps showing every day I've had a new person on, or a returning person, it keeps showing itself that there's something missing, and nothing against the people I've connected with, like TheRealTombi, which I thank you, sir. And he says the algorithm is 100% is against me on most platforms. Numbers are nice, some rant super chat's great, but I would soon entertain the chat with my humor and vast knowledge of random facts. That, and probably your military history as well, because there are some people who like military history. It's just I felt the oh God.
See? I told you. Fucking told you.
God dang it, Abe. But the thing is, Abe. But the thing is, after I'd watched content creators for a long time, and this is before I met any of the wonderful clip I've seen, like Tombi, Jack Tarlad, you, and many others. I just kept seeing the same thing over again. Not the same exact thing. There's the same thing and the same exact thing. I didn't see the same exact thing. I just kept seeing the same thing. It's like, wait a second, you have these other people on. Good example, F&T. You know what F&T is, right? All that
fuck
stuff.
yeah.
Majority of the time, if it's not someone that's been on, get the holy one. Oh goodness, if you have a guest on, it's not one of the familiars like Mahler, what is it? Drinker. That's right, Drinker, or any of the friendlier ones. You get these new guests on, and usually a majority of the time, or Gundam, if they're not Gundam, usually the majority of the time, their guest is in the center, and they're not saying much. You have a whole kaleidoscope of people around them, friends, whatever, and your guest isn't saying much. And I feel that. In the sense, like, if I have a guest on like you, and I apologize for going over in some manner, I want to hear more from you as well, because you're on. I have you on. I just can't do those big things. So that's why I have only 4 people total on Dara's Hangout then, because you get more of a conversation. Silly, funny, serious, it does not matter. You get more of a conversation, and that's what I'm going for. To get more of a conversation rather than just noise, because it's like that scene in The Grinch, right? All the noise, and that's
Yeah, but and that's like the funny thing, because like I have set myself the idea. I mean, if I ever get to realize it, is on a completely different fucking problem. See, the funny thing is, normally I would challenge him to a fight, but I've been told to not punch down. And yes, I will make a height joke. Fight me.
Oh, that was a good one. I even choose English or American into my own chatter. Hey, I hear ya. No, that's a challenge.
No, but like, but like the things like, because I have this idea again. If I ever get to realize it, time will tell. But I said for myself if I ever create a channel, be it like most likely on YouTube, or I do 2 and then basically restream the content, I would have it literally in for myself to have to have the majority be just whatever, and be it either weekly or be it bi-weekly. I would take people that have never seen a certain show, be it a certain anime, an animated movie, whatever.
Right.
I would have them watch it for the first time ever and then review it with them.
Right. I think that's a very good idea.
Because like, and it's coming to Netflix, by the way, which is funny, because certain people, I'm looking at you, Nerdtex, no longer then has excuses to not watch it. Grave of the Fireflies is coming to Netflix. And anybody that has not seen Grave of the Fireflies yet, first of all, the fuck is wrong with you? Second of all, watch it.
Oh my gosh, I thought that it was a Ghibli movie, but it's pre-Ghibli.
Yeah, it's Studio Ghibli.
It's Studio Ghibli, and I saw that movie and it was like, but of course, this is during the wartime of the fire raids, I think, is what the main summary is, and it's just one trip in the bad palette over the other, but it's so powerful though. It is so powerful because when you reach the end, right? And I won't say if you haven't seen it. When you reach the end, you are so devastated that the movie
you're done.
But you get the idea. The movie has done its part in trying to tell you, look, this was life back during that time period to some degree.
Yep.
Maybe not the exact story, but the scenes of a fire raid and all this other stuff, that was the life after the atomic bomb had dropped, right? And you saw the devastation from that. And you have some jerknot coming into your country and being an idiot on live streaming and trying to bring that sort of stuff up without understanding the contextual matter of life on it, right? Because there's a YouTuber called Kyle Hill who explained that the stuff used in an atomic bomb, it wasn't even that powerful if it had been brought to its full force. The damage would have been 10 times worse with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you also get like you also get a small sense of it if you have seen fucking Gojira -1, where it's it's also just life after war, and like, what do you do with yourself if your nation is that fucked up? And then it's the government not really giving a fuck about you, and you basically in communities have to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then obviously in Gojira -1, then you have big fucking atomic lizard motherfucker coming in and fucking shit up even worse.
Yeah, and there was that one anime called Barefoot Gen, I think it was. I saw that is that too, where it shows now it's animated form, but you do see the sort of the effects of, and again, there you have Hiroshima, you have Nagasaki memorials, and no one, if anyone's really honest about themselves, right? We can talk about the nuclear stuff all day long, but the point of the matter is, no one really wants that, because once it happens, there's not going to be much of a tomorrow.
No.
We all know some form or another about the what was it, the sort of the agreement of if one launches, the other launches, the war of mass, the weapon of mass destruction sort of thing, or whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's technically called, but the point of the matter is when you get something like the Barefoot Jet or Graveyard of the Fireflies or something, it shows you the devastation of our own creation. And it doesn't have to be an atomic bomb to see that. Social media, good Lord, social media is a perfect example of social devastation. It's a great form of communicating across far distances, don't get me wrong. But when you take the tool, and you bring it to its zenith, because all tools that every human beings have created have a good and bad to them, but it's not the tool itself, it's the person themselves. So social media, like the internet, has been used to its zenith of both good and bad. And when you have something like that to show what the atomic bomb showed us in a different way, right? It's not the same way, but a different way. It shows us that we don't know how to handle ourselves well, and we don't understand the consequences. Mutually assured destruction. That's the word I was looking for. Mutually assured destruction, or MAD. You don't understand the actions of, and that's where that nuclear part is. A full nuclear on war, no one's surviving. Even people underneath underground, they're not going to survive for long, because there was a lady who was on Joe Rogan's show, and she's talking about what she's been talking with generals and all this stuff. But a nuclear war is not going to be something. A nuclear winter is not going to be something that happens overnight. It's going to be ages before it's done with. Ages. And it's a lot of stuff. But again, you wouldn't be in this space of having those type of thoughts if you didn't get to have those conversations. And that's why I do this, because whether they're a repeat of a conversation or a different perspective on something, whether it be about Rumble or stuff like this, it goes to show that the thing we kind of need most is just a good sit down and maybe a cup of soup if you enjoy that sort of thing, and just have a conversation. And a lot of people don't know how to do that very much more, because we're so engrossed in our idolatry and our phones. And we kind of brought that on ourselves. But anyway, guys, and I know I talked to you a bit. Apologies for that. But anyway, guys,
that's not even like the problem. But it's also like, the funny thing is, when you get to like just people, like I have seen this so many times, and I always laugh about it because to me it's literally the stupidest shit ever. Because obviously you over there have Subway, and we over here have Subway. So
Subway, Metro, yeah.
No. I mean the food thing, Subway just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Otherwise I would have already debated you with the Metro.
I thought you were talking
no.
about the trim.
Yeah. So no. But here's the funny thing. So I was out and about with a friend of mine, and like we came from I forget what movie we watched. It's like last year, and so we came from the cinema, and we're like, okay, let's go grab something to eat real quick. Let's go to Subway. So we go to Subway, and I shit you not, we walk in there. In the very on the left-hand side, all the way in the back, there's sitting two people on a table at the table, not saying a single word, eating their sandwiches, having their phones on their table. So now you have two options: either these two don't know each other, or this is gonna end in fucking hilarity. It ends in fucking hilarity. These two fucking chuckle fucks are sitting at the same goddamn table, eating their fucking sandwiches, texting to each other.
Right.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously my buddy and I, we're just sitting down, having our drinks, having our fucking sandwiches, just talking. Openly talking. Everybody could fucking hear us talk. When the other two left, the guy behind the counter, literally when we paid and left, he said that we on this entire day were the only two that actually spoke words outside of what they ordered and when they left. Like a bunch of degenerates. It's like, why? This is to this day, by the way, fun fact, this is to this day why I literally do not own a fucking smartphone. I literally refuse, because it's like, no, When I go out, I grab my phone. If you want something, you call me. Otherwise, I'm not fucking available. Eat a dick. I don't care.
Right.
If I'm out, I'm out. If I'm out, I'm not still fucking online. I'm not there.
Right. And
Call me if it's important. If it's not, it can wait until I get back.
and it's not saying that I'm not exempt from those things either. I'm human too. It's just the things we complain about. They may not be easily solvable, but there are ways to solve it. And we end up in this space of where we're just complaining about the problem and not the solution. We talk about how kids they have too much screen time or whatnot. But who's the parent? Right? Or we talk about how gaming companies and all this stuff have so much power over us or whatever. I'm like, but what do you call outside? It's a lot. Oh, how do you do banking without a smartphone?
Very simple. If I need to do online banking, I'm gonna do it at home. If not, I'm gonna go to the fucking bank. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm gonna write a fucking 3-page essay to be like, could you please? No. I'm just gonna go in there and be like, okay, this transaction needs to be done from there to there. Here's the amount of money. Okay, thanks, bye. And otherwise, I just do online banking at home, obviously. But if I'm out and about, I'm out and about. That's why you have cash in your pocket. It's very easy.
Not many people will carry cash much anymore. It's mostly just either debit or credit. I don't know if it's the same thing over there, but yeah, it's almost more philosophical in the question itself, and of course, that can go down its own road. But unfortunately, it's late where you're at, and I've got to get other stuff set up, and I haven't even eaten yet. So
I mean, you tell me it's late. It's barely past fucking 1 a.m. I got time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if you're Steve, who's usually in the YouTube side, he sounds like he's about to pass out to death. But no, I usually
yeah, I know.
Oh,
no, but the funny thing with me is because my sleep schedule is all over the place because I'm in disability retirement due to illness.
Okay.
And so I basically have all day, every day to do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
So specifically for like late night shit like this, like we could have started an hour later and I would have still been fine. Like I have the time, but obviously depending on your time, it's fair game for me.
Yeah. No, and of course, Jabs has another one for you.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because over here, I have made it so that if I do online banking directly, not through like a third-party app, but directly through my account, I will get sent a digital PIN to confirm the transaction to my email. Okay. And so I will just open the email address, get the PIN, confirm the PIN, and then let's go. So no, I don't need a smartphone for that one.
So that's sort of like two-factor
authentication.
Yeah, I was trying to 2FA. And then Abe was like, "How do you commit heinous?" Look, you don't. Obviously, the thing we're supposed to say on a legal standpoint is you don't. But if you do, don't get caught.
And Abe, how do I commit them? I don't. I let other people do and then reap the benefits.
No, you just become that evil German in those movies. You must do it now, right now. Get over here.
I become fucking Hans Gruber in fucking Die Hard. But without getting kicked out of a window.
Oh goodness! You will get I'll get my revenge, McLean.
By the way, fun fact: do you know what they did to fucking poor Alan Rickman to get that facial expression when they kick him out of the window?
Surprise him.
Oh no! So, yeah, technically, but in a weird way. So he knew that because he was held by like a harness release that was hooked to a fucking the quick release, and they told him, okay, we're gonna count down from 3 to 1, and then we're gonna release the quick release, and then you're gonna drop into the crash mat. And he's like, okay, because he was afraid of heights, and so they hung him up from the thing, and then they go like 3, 2, and just pull the lever.
Oh no!
And that's how they shot that facial expression. He's like, "You motherfuckers!"
Oh, that would. It's just imagine how badly could have gone. There'd be no Snape. There'd be no.
No. Again, like downstairs, like with the crash mats, everybody was ready. They just didn't like. They told him, "Okay, we're going to count 3, 2, 1, go," and then let you go. But they let him go on 2. Everybody else was ready. Even the fucking camera was ready to catch his face. And obviously, when he landed, he was like, "These motherfuckers!" He was fucking pissed. And then they showed him the shot of his face, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, that's kind of worth it." Like, he couldn't argue with the results.
I still would be too, but man, that's awful. But anyway, we're gonna go head off because I do want to get something to eat. So, but
Yeah,
no,
you have stuff to do. I don't.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, of course. Then you're gonna find Tombi and then go into his Discord. But anyway, that sounds it does sound terrifying. I know, right? It does.
Yeah, completely dick move. But the result, if you watch Die Hard at the end when they kick him out of the window and then he drops, that's a real facial expression of a man being dropped too soon and he didn't know it was coming, and that facial expression was worth it.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's horrifying though. Well, he had a heart attack for a little while. But anyway, no. But again, before I leave, I think regardless of culture, except we are one ways. Well, I mean, many. It would be nice to be said that way, but I don't think we're too far off from the racist factor. But anyway,
Reject humanity, return to monkey.
Oh goodness! But anyway, yes, links are down below. He hasn't anything up. If you want to find out where great Hanayama-san is, you just go down to his Twitter X link down below, and you'll find him at his place. And of course, guys, whether you're on YouTube or Rumble, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the stuff, giving a follow, or leaving a comment, either one of it or all of it, it doesn't matter. Anything that helps the engagement is most appreciated, because again, I get to have on people through that matter of engagement. I get to have on people like Tombi, like Hanayama-san, like Richard, who's coming on tomorrow, and so many other people. Look, I wouldn't have around a little over 100 people if I didn't have help with the engagement. So your help with that part helps with having those people on, and you guys get the benefit of just seeing these people. I still have to go out there. I still have to ask them on. Sometimes it's a bit difficult. Sometimes it's not. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's worth it. And again, if you want to know where I'm at, my link is down below. I have the Twitter X, the Discord, just DMing, and of course my email if you'd like to come on. If you don't and you just want to know where else I'm at, my Rumble and YouTube are in as well. But if you want to come on and you don't want to go through all that, just leave a comment on either YouTube or Rumble and we can start. Look, guys, again, helping with the engagement factor helps us bring on other people and hopefully bring them back, because it doesn't have to be a one-time show. If you're on, you'll be asked on again later. Yeah, and see you tomorrow too. Good, Richard. I will see you then. But yes, it's not a one-time ordeal. You're always welcome back, Hanayama-san. It is. There's always, dear Lord, there's too much in life to talk about, and so that's the great part of having a conversation.
Definitely.
So, but anyway, where am I at? Yes, tomorrow at. I'll just bring up my calendar that I have. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, Richard is coming on, so I hope you guys will be there for that. Gosh. So he's coming on at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and so many others. And of course, again, the month of September is filled. I just filled the last sort of day. I usually just keep weekends open because I do need a break. But yes, September is full, and I look forward to October, filling that. But that's right. And before we go, last thing we do before we go is, so I have a thing. It's called Questions from a Hat. And so I bought a hat from the Rumble store, whatever. And inside are a bunch of questions. Now, each guest gets 2 freebies. But if people want more, they'll, I'm only monetized on Rumble, so they'd have to give a rant. Now, however, Tombi gave a rant earlier, so I'm going to add that to the fact. So you have 3 questions from the hat. I'm just going to...
All right, shoot.
All right, so let's and these are questions that anyone can just about answer. I'm just going to find... I'm not looking at it. I'm just feeling with my hands. Okay, so first one is this one right here. Let's see what it says, if I can open it. It says, It says, what sound/noise do you hate?
A sound/noise that I hate. A very interesting one for like all the wrong reasons, but
Right.
it's obviously because I've trained to become a cook, so I know how if you use a sharpening stone or if you use a whetstone,
Yeah.
how the sound when you sharpen your knife.
Right.
However, a whetstone is called that because you put water on it to have more grit when you slide the edge of a knife across it, so it doesn't chip or you get tiny rolls and have to resharpen it again. So
Yeah.
a noise that I absolutely hate is using a sharpening grit or using a sharpening stone dry and then dragging metal over it.
Oh,
It literally just boils my piss because I know what they're doing and I know they are about to ruin whatever they are dragging across it, and heaven forbid it's a knife, because I know it's going to get damaged, I know it's going to get chipped, they're going to be tiny little rolls, and then you have to resharpen the entire fucking thing. You just ruined hours of work by being an idiot.
oh gosh, yeah, and I can't.
So
yeah.
that would be my absolutely noise that I just hate, because I know what's happening and it fucking just hurts my soul.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that and a chalkboard. I think chalkboard is a pretty big one with everyone. It's just that sound like. And then you like,
I can tolerate it if it's not for too long.
don't tell me you're a masochist. Anyway, here's
No, I said tolerate it. I don't like it, but I can tolerate, like, because I have written with chalk on a chalkboard, and so I know it, like, when you write with chalk, like specifically fresh chalk on a chalkboard, and then the chalk cracks, and then you get that short little squeal. I can tolerate it, but if you keep doing it over and over and over, two things: either I will leave, or you're gonna catch some hands, because now you're doing it on purpose.
Hey, let me show you to my friend Fist. Anyway, the next one is: are you a morning person or a night owl?
I tend to night owl, mostly because I used to be a morning person, but the thing is, specifically when you have like when you go to school, you have summer vacation, all that bullshit. Everybody is more at home later in the evening towards the night, and so I gradually went from morning person to like midday, like evening person, and now it's just like whatever time fucking fits, but the night is perfect.
Yeah, no, I feel the same sometimes. Although the day can wear on and just want to go to bed. You know, there used to be a time where I could stay up 24/7 if it's on the weekend, obviously, and I'd be fine. But nowadays, it's just one of those things, and it's partly my bad eating habits and whatnot that kind of weigh in on that. But there is a point where you used to be able to stay up for quite some time, and then you're just like, I just want to go to bed, and you're just going to pass out and all that stuff. So, yeah, I would say I'm more of a night owl, but I've gotten up in mornings, and it's a 50-50. I'm a morning person or not. But anyway, here's the last one. Hopefully it's not a repeat. Night Owl Crew. Of course, Abe. With Jesus and the devil on your shoulder, I'm not surprised.
Oh hell yeah. I mean, Abe knows. We have been like in fucking Discord still talking mad shit after the Hump Day podcast ended till like fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's insane. And I thought working was punishing me for being awake at 6 a.m. I'll tell you a quick story. So I used to work at a YMCA, and they didn't have any female staff. So I was in the custodial part. So I'd have to get up real early in the morning to get there before they opened. So it had to be an hour or so. I probably only got one night. I only had like 1 hour of sleep, barely even that. And I was lucky to get to work with my life. So there's that. But anyway, last question, since there's no more Rumble rants. What's your least favorite color and why?
My least favorite color and why? Okay, that's a very specific one, and it has like no, like, I could not explain to you why, because there is no like fundamental reason to it. But you know, maybe if you have like when you have these very old like striped bubblegums, and they have this very almost bleach out pinkish color. So show me somebody that wears that color in any combination. Anybody. That color looks absolutely hideous. I could not explain to you why, I just find it that fucking atrocious. But this almost bleached out pinkish, like almost looking like a stripe of dried out bubblegum. I just hate that color. I don't know why, but I hate it. I have seen no human alive wear that color and not look fucking dumb.
Yeah, they've seen I mean, there's the pink for breast cancer. That's one, and then you have like neon pink, which is a different subject altogether.
Okay.
Question to Dara. I see you have silky hair on your cap. Did you ever grow it long? I mean, I have to the point of I need to get it cut, but not like girlish long, if that's what you're saying. Oh, hey, Toasty. You're just coming at the end of the show, though, Toasty, so you're kind of missing the whole point. But there is
somebody needs to watch the replay.
Yes, we need to watch the replay. But thank you for coming anyway. I thank you all for coming. I thank you, Hanayama-san, for coming. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
Of course, there's always another time. What is he up to? What does Jabs want? Hanayama, for me, it depends on the object. I cannot bear orange net curtains. What?
Yes.
Orange. Oh, I've seen. I mean, it just depends. Red is my favorite color. So people have confused it with being a MAGA hat, but I'm like, red's my favorite color. It's just a coincidence. Guys, come on, seriously.
See, the funny thing is, because artists would start a giant debate, but technically it's not a color. I would tell them to shut the fuck up. But favorite color still is jet black.
Mm-hmm. Jet black. Really? That's a hair color in its own right. Like that. I think believe that's Japanese hair is pretty.
Yeah, because that's literally my hair color. It's jet black. Like I've really like that typical ultra dark black hair.
Net curtains equals voile curtains in American. I've never heard of such curtains.
Yeah, but I know what. Okay. Yeah, I know.
He knows what Hanayama-san knows what you mean. I don't. I have curtains, but they're more like the dark, keep the sun out sort of curtains. I don't know what they call them. But yeah, no, I appreciate you all being here. And again, don't forget to leave a like, follow, all that stuff, because again, there are more people I'm trying to reach across, and sometimes they can ignore me because my name is nothing to them. But I hope to be able to be at a point where I can say, look, I've had over 100 people, but let's say 1,000 people. Let's get myself to 1,000 different people. I don't know how long that'll take. Because it's only like 365 days in the year, so
so you would need slightly over 2.5 years.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is it's also the support factor too. Is like I would go down to a part-time job if that financial side had met that point. I would never go to full-time content creator because, dear Lord, it's a mess in its own right. But a part-time, sure. I do part-time if I had more time. But again, this is about the majority of what I do with this is about having the conversation with the person across the way and seeing where it goes. And you saw us for the past 2.5 hours. That's right, 2.5 hours. Go every which way. Easy peasy. Every which way to Sunday. And you ask yourself how, why? I ask myself that every time. But yeah, I am always ecstatic about the person coming on. And there have been some people on who need a little jump every now and then, get a conversation going. But the point of the matter is if you can't meet the challenge in a conversation, how will you meet a challenge elsewhere? Because there are challenges all around us in life, and how you meet them and how you overcome them is up to you. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern with Richard, and of course, I hope to see you all there. And of course, like always, and I enjoy the artist who's made this stuff. But one day with you. Bye, Pogo. Hope to see you all tomorrow. And don't forget to mute your mic as well, Hanayama-san.
Oh, yeah.
See you all tomorrow, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Peace.